All right, everybody, welcome to the first podcast episode of the Forsaken Reapers Tavern. I am your host, Death God Shido, with my co-host, Isolated Rainbow, and the Rabbit Yoshi. Say hi, everybody.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Yo, what's up?
We're joined with our guest for the night, Izzy Kills on Twitch.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up?
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up, everybody?
It's the most chill. What's
Dude,
up?
like I am zen. I am zen right now, bro. I'm just chilling, bro.
Izzy popped 4 mushrooms about 30 minutes ago. All right, you gotta give him a minute.
He's like,
Four, dude.
Hold up.
4.
I'm gonna be real fucked up for this podcast. So
Look, I can only count to 2, bro, and it was a whole bag.
See all the little things he was doing before we started. The like, oh hey, here's this like little filter image thing. It was all just what he was seeing. He just wanted to share it with
He's
us.
like, this is what I'm looking at
That's
right
definitely
now.
my trip. That's my fucking trip, bro.
It's just you as a potato, just bro.
I'm just here like, what the fuck, bro? Like, oh shit, I'm on some trippy ass shit, bro. Like, yeah, that's crazy, bro.
All right, so for those of you who don't know us from our Twitch counterparts, of course, I'm Death God Shido on Twitch. We are the Reaper Nation. You are joining us in the Forsaken Reapers Tavern, home of the Reaper Asylum. And
Pretty sure I have that hat, by the way.
What the?
Shido. I think I have that hat, dude.
I'm repping Nintendo today, man.
Yo, sick. Sponsored?
Nintendo, call me, buddy. Papa Tendo. We lost Rainbow again.
Oh.
Well,
First episode of the podcast, right? Fuck.
I
Good
mean,
job.
someone has to die at one point, right?
All right, which one of you motherfuckers did it? Y'all sus as fuck.
What's sus? I didn't do it.
I got it.
Not
I
me.
got it.
not it.
I got it.
It was not me.
Not it.
We just wearing fucking.
We
Alright,
just
you know what?
had it out. We
where's
had
my
it out.
fucking-
Hold up. Hat change. All right, because Gearbox is probably a more possible sponsor for us.
I don't know if you can even see this on the camera.
I see Goku.
Yeah, but if I like look up,
You wouldn't grab the same hat.
Hey,
Good thing
motherfucker,
I
bro.
changed. Good thing I changed.
What's going on, man? This shit.
All right. Let's.
I got you.
Oh fuck! Hold up. You go Mimikyu. Hold on.
There you go.
Guys, I apologize, but this is our first episode of the podcast, so it's gonna be off the wall.
Dude, we there no shit's right. I even got the Luigi head in the fucking closet, but I'll bring that shit.
yeah, I had to go find this one.
Just because you.
I like Rabid.
Just because you want.
I like Rabid's hat. I like it.
This one?
No, Rabid's hat. Rabbit Bunny's hat. It's a pretty cool hat.
It's a great hat. It's a whole like
Very good
white
hat.
screen hat.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
so close up on it.
Yeah, it's very like I don't even know how you do that. It's crazy, dude.
I really like the red hat he has on. You know, like
I mean, he does have a red hat. That's true.
straight red hat. Like
That's what I did. It wasn't a diss. Like actually, like I said, it's pretty cool. What are you buying?
All right,
What
so
are you buying?
Rainbow, do you want to tell a little bit more about this podcast and why we chose to do it?
In relation to this month or in general?
In general.
Okay. So we decided to do this because we realized that on a lot, especially whenever we do our longer streams, like our 24-hour streams and stuff, we kind of have rants. We go off on like 1 to 2 hour rants on stream about just random stuff. So we thought the podcast would be a good way to talk about those things outside of stream. And that's kind of why we're doing this. That and well, there's just a lot of things we've noticed that we wanted to dive deeper into, but we couldn't because we didn't have free time.
So this episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about a little bit of, gaming news. We're going to be talking about why Sony hates, crossplay and is, being blacklisted by fucking Gearbox.
Forgot about that.
Yep, Borderlands 3 cross-playable, except for you fuckers on Sony, which is me.
Yeah, I was like, which is you?
We're going to be talking about mental health awareness because that's what us Reapers are, focusing on this month. We've had quite a bit of stuff happen over the last year and a half, and we all kind of have been touched by some people and have lost those said people. Cheers to those guys.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'll have a cup. Cheers. I forgot my drinks, bro.
I'll just pull up this iron I have here next to me.
On top of that, we also want to talk about
Toxicity
in gaming, guys. Like, do we really got to have guys? Guys, hold on. This is to the gentlemen out there, the guys. Do we really have to talk shit to women every time we fucking fight them in Call of Duty? Do we, guys?
Not even necessarily women, like, because I'm all for, like, equality. Why do you have to talk shit at all? Like, I get it, like, if you're with your buddies and you're just like, oh, yeah, like, you're trash. Like, that's cool, but some of the stuff goes too far.
Right?
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, it's on us, because we are the generation that grew up in the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies in that whole, like, era of, like, you have to, like, talk trash.
I didn't grow up in Xbox chat.
I grew up in both.
I didn't grow up either, but I know I grew up in that era. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, but like it's just why? Like everyone's trying to have fun. Like say your GGs, move on. And some people will like fight that with, oh well, it's fun to talk shit. Okay, why? Give me one good reason why it's fun to talk shit, and then I will turn that back on you and say, oh, it's fun to talk shit because it makes you feel good about yourself. Okay, well, what's your problem?
And the low key talking shit. GG, GG, my friend. GG.
That's not even talking shit. That's just trolling at that point. It's kind of like just teabagging bodies. You're just kind of being a dickhead, but not to the point where you need to be banned or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That one Splatoon day.
Oh yeah, where you squid bagged me and everybody else on the team.
No, you deserved it that day.
I'm a saint, god damn it.
No, you're not.
The death god is a saint. Okay, we heard it here first.
No. In gaming, no, he's not.
Hey. I mean, all I do is give out free hugs on Fall Guys, and I dance with people on Splatoon. I like how your camera just swapped on us on my screen.
What?
Good thing I don't have name tags.
It's swapped.
What just happened?
I think because you changed your name, so your camera swapped.
Did you change your name? Is that what happened?
Oh, it's alphabetical order in the list. I never knew that. Yeah, because I changed it because I figured like if you ended up scrolling over so people could see who is who, it'd be better to have like my actual name.
Well,
not my normal Discord name.
Like I said, guys, this is our first episode. This is before we've.
This is the scuffness.
This is before we've ironed out all the kinks and stuff. Soon we can get everything up and moving and rolling and a better understanding. This is why these are recorded and not live on Twitch.
Dude, I was gonna do mine live.
Yeah, thank God.
Like, fuck it.
Go live for the first one.
Dude, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going live on every single podcast. That'd be fun. It's the whole point of being spontaneous and random.
Well, that's what we want to do. We want to do a live recording of it. That way we can get the chat involved.
Yeah,
but for the first couple, we just want to kind of
set the tone,
mellow it out, and kind of see how we're gonna do it.
Hey, Izzy.
What's up?
You watch anime?
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay. I have a quick question for you.
You want me
What's
to mellow it out?
Do you think do you agree with me when Boruto is still about Naruto?
Boruto's about fucking Boruto. That's why it's called Boruto, you fuck.
Yeah.
It's not though. It's not though. The entire show is like oh great, Boruto got this. Boruto is this. Congrats, his dad is still a beast, and that's all that matters. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, I cannot vouch for that show.
Thank you.
I
Thank
cannot
you.
vouch for that show.
Thank you.
I was like, don't get me wrong, people, to everyone, like my favorite anime is dog shit, and I'll say that myself. But
Berserk, no.
you can't. I can't vouch for that show. I'm sorry.
Side note, Berserk. Did you
Talking
hear?
about Sword Art Online is his favorite.
Oh no, dude, it's worse than that. I'll admit, dude, I love Log Horizon. It's absolute dog shit when it comes to plot and story, but I love the characters, so I love that
That's
anime.
fair. Well, see, like I can't say much because like people will ask me about anime, and I've watched so much. Like I've watched some weird ones, like Mysterious Girlfriend X, and just some strange off the wall anime. And people are like, "Oh, what the fuck is that?" But whenever I tell them, like, I've seen a lot of action anime. I love a lot of fantasy and isekai and action anime, But my favorite anime, my top 3 would have to be Toradora, Your Lie in April, and Beyond the Boundary.
So, since anime is already on the docket right now, let's go ahead and jump into anime as our first topic.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna be completely useless for this.
Maybe a little bit. You just need to open your varieties. Hey, some of the animes that we list here, man, you should definitely go watch after the podcast. Start watching it, except for Boruto and Naruto. And
I got reincarnated as a slime.
And Bleach.
I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 2 is coming out.
Let me pull up some reading material.
Yes. No, I've heard how that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 2, part 2 is coming out pretty soon. If you were gonna watch that, Yoshi, I would definitely watch it now. Oh my god.
What you
Okay,
do?
I pulled up a list and I just saw some shit. Premieres July 3rd. I missed it. There's no regarding an English release date. Oh.
What are we talking about?
I don't know, dude.
Okay. The Irregular Magic High School. Has anybody seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. Anybody that's like seen it, watching. The Irregular Magic High School is this amazing anime. It's where basically the dude's super weak when it comes to like terms of like their version of magical power, except for the fact that they only measure them in their magical power. So he's actually like this genius in the world that's made like tons of like really high tech equipment, and they are coming up with a spin-off called The Honor Student at Magic High School. And I did not know about that. I actually just recently went and rewatched this anime, and I'm super pumped.
I like how me and Shito just laughed at that.
I'm just intrigued the whole goddamn time.
I'm just background noise.
I want Cheeto pull one of those and a shot of vodka.
And a shot of vodka.
I'm just background noise.
So, coming up this week, actually, we have Bell being released July 16th. If you are looking for a new anime, but what I'm looking forward to is not until when's this come out? I don't even have it. Where is it at? Lost my shit.
Beastars is coming out. The next season of Beastars is coming out.
How do y'all feel about Skate the Infinity? Let me ask that. I thought that was a good. Good anime.
I haven't seen a ton of it actually.
Watch it.
I've seen a decent amount of it, but only like half of it. I need to go back and restart it and like completely drive through and watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I probably should have poured that a little bit better. Yep, that was
one shot of vodka.
One shot.
Bro, you gotta cut to that clip in the actual editing.
Episode 1 of the Forsaken Reaper Tavern.
Cheeto
gets fucking blitzed.
Well, see, like I would normally.
Cheeto pours one shot of vodka. That's just a title. Fucking.
It's like when we get to that point in the thing, just zoom in on Cheeto, just
loop that. That's the whole podcast.
Just
that's gonna be the
thumbnail.
The thumbnails is
while he's editing, just zoom in on him pouring it.
I made a mistake.
the
Put
audio
subtitles on that shit.
the audio on Rainbow just starts lowering. You just like dead stare into my eyes.
It's like that. It's like that.
Intensely pouring.
Yeah, you know,
animated.
whenever people start to talk and then it's just like they just like slowly zooms out when they go on a rant, and it's just like. It's
Just zooms in on like Shido just intensely pouring fucking.
So of course we have what do we have coming out this week on TV series anime?
I'll be right back.
Man, this is gonna be some good editing for everything.
I feel bad for the editor.
Yeah, I know.
Izzy, what you doing later?
Dude, that's so funny though.
Let me send you this in Dropbox.
Oh no.
Data Live 4 comes out in October. I can't wait for that to come out. I like that anime. Huh?
I made a mistake and I'm about to make it worse. Let's go.
What the fuck?
What are you doing?
New
Shield just
Dude, this was a bad idea since he brought out the whole jug of fucking milk. What are you doing?
New title of the episode. I fucked up and I'm about to make it worse.
What are you doing?
Just him with
this
a jug of milk, dude.
This isn't Kraken. It's like a super. It's like it's made by the people who make Kraken, but it's called like Sailor Joe's or some shit like that. It's like a cheaper version. I should put it in the bottle because the bottle was cold.
Bro.
So you can't. So it's not like Kraken where you can drink it straight. So I had an idea.
Bad one.
And he's gone again. Let's just.
Oh my god.
He's like, I need the orange juice for this one.
Hold up, I need 3 eggs.
Episode 1.
Some chocolate. Strawberry
What the
syrup.
fuck?
Okay, so here's my idea. All right?
Episode 1, people.
Hear me out.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
This is going to be a new segment on the podcast. Welcome to
What type
Rainbow
of fucking
Tries
Rainbow
Random
drink can you
Shit.
get?
Rainbow Tries Random Shit. All right. So we're going to put in some. I'll get the actual name of what this is later. It's in my freezer. So we're going to put some of this.
I don't think this will make the final cut.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I
just
think
thinking now.
this might get cut out. Just say it.
Yeah.
Hey, cut
Yeah,
you know, editor,
for the love
editor,
yeah,
cut
for the
to the
love
part where he
of
throws
God.
up. Cut to the part where he throws up.
Hear me out.
Just zoom
Oh,
ahead.
Hear me
no.
out.
Zoom ahead.
No, what the fuck?
Rainbow.
It looks like pissing milk. What
Rainbow,
the fuck?
stop.
No
Hear me out.
shot, brother. No
Hear me
shot,
out.
Bucko.
Hear me out.
No shot.
Stop.
A little bit of
No.
sweet cream.
No
Coffee creamer.
fuck. No.
Stop. Stop while you're ahead. She's just looking disappointed.
Where's mine?
She's just looking disappointed.
What is he doing? No,
I mean, if
Maybe
you
do
wanted
it.
a blowjob, you should have just got some.
Rainbow, put it down. Put it down.
If you wanted a
No,
blowjob, you should
put
have just
it
got some
down.
Baileys.
Look how
Right.
delicious it looks.
Oh no.
Stop. Stop while you're ahead.
No, dude. No. It's too early, dude. It's
Oh,
way
Bartender!
too early.
What is going on?
Bartender, hey, you dead fuck! Cut the Lich King off. Cut the Lich off. The Lich don't need more drink.
No, dude. Like,
We're cutting that out.
someone come get they man. No.
Cheers.
No,
Yes.
no, hell no.
Salud,
dude.
I
What the
guess.
hell is
Fuck,
that?
sorry.
What
You know
the
what?
hell is
Cheers.
it? Oh my god! Don't you drink? Oh my god! Why are you drinking that?
So where he goes, it's not half
It's really
dead.
good.
Rainbow,
Called it.
Rainbow,
What the fuck?
Rainbow.
It would be better if I had Bailey's. I feel like Bailey's would be better, but that
That's what I'm
actually
saying.
works very
That's what
well.
I'm saying.
Okay.
If you wanted a blowjob, you should just got a bottle of Bailey's and put some more cream on it. Fuck.
I don't have any. I have spiced rum, so I'm using spiced rum. Okay.
Okay, so
And I ran out of
I got-
everything to mix it with.
This is what I expected from a Reaper podcast, by the way. We have a topic that all of a sudden is like, Rainbow's gone. Trying to think it's fucked up drinking and fucking fun.
You said rum. I thought you said cum.
It's like
a little bit of both.
imagine.
I had a mute for a second.
That shit was on screen. That's what ran off.
What is spiced cum?
I don't know. Ask what you're making.
I don't want to know.
All right, guys.
I want to know.
This is a spiced cum.
Oh my god.
Wait, I can make this 1,000 times better. I've got
not being
sprinkles.
monetized on fucking YouTube.
No, this has to go on the hub now. This is not allowed on YouTube.
Stop.
Oh no, dude.
We gotta have a director's cut.
What are you doing?
We gotta have a director's cut of this podcast.
Yes.
Dude,
Don't feel
what the?
too bad.
Yeah.
Don't feel too bad. The first thing when I opened my fridge I saw was pickle juice, and I went, "Ooh!" And then I changed my mind. All right.
Oh no.
That
my
brings me back to the
God.
24-hour stream for charity. You're like, somebody donate $100 so I can drink pickle juice.
Oh no, dude.
You're peeking your
Stop.
microwave.
Oh my lord.
Oh my fucking.
I don't think
God.
well, it might not be peaking that bad on recording. Hopefully. Let me just go ahead.
It's good. It's good. But it tastes like I bit a cupcake and then took a shot immediately afterward.
Doesn't sound good.
What?
Guys, I promise. Try this at home.
No.
We're not professional.
No.
No.
Don't try this at home.
Don't try this at home.
Guys,
Dude,
drink responsibly and do not be a reaper.
do not drink that.
Dude, don't be a reaper and don't be rainbow.
Dude, definitely not rainbow.
I mean, he is part of the Forsaken faction of the Reaper Nation. To be honest here, they're kind of
Yeah.
they're kind of out there.
Anyway, speaking of mental health awareness, as we can see, rainbow. Perfect segment. There we go.
Segue. Guys, don't be
Oh
mean.
my god. Oh my god.
No,
I'm
dude.
pouring more Coke into this. This is strong, man. I heavy-handed the fuck out of this.
Yo, Coke? Where's the Coke?
Not that kind of Coke. Next episode.
It
It's like, call me back for that one. I'll get started.
call me back for that one. I'll be
Oh
there.
my god.
All right, back to the
I got
topic.
my debit card.
Back to the topic at hand. Anime. So, what are you guys looking forward to coming soon?
I saw smoke come out of that.
what?
What the fuck? I saw smoke come out of that drink.
Did you just vape into it?
Why is there smoke coming out of that?
I think
No.
you vaped into it.
Why?
This episode's canceled. It's just canceled.
He just gets up and leaves.
Oh my god.
This is
Just
why
walk out,
this is
dude.
why we're not allowed nice things, guys. People of YouTube, this is why the Reapers are not allowed nice things. Rainbow seems to always fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yoshi got disconnected again from the internet.
No, I think Yoshi. Oh no, he did.
God damn.
All right. Well,
All right,
on a serious
all right,
note,
all
back
right.
to anime.
This is scuffed.
So,
Welcome to episode 1.
welcome to Scuffed episode 1 of the Forsaken Reapers Tavern. Just go ahead and roll this back to the beginning.
Directly cut. Oh,
We're
roll
gonna-
back to the beginning. All right. A shot of vodka.
Shut up.
Try me. Fucking try me.
Oh, fucking
Shut
God!
up.
Coke and whiskey was about to come up.
I mean, if we talking Coke, hold on.
Are you?
Wait, I can
Dude,
still
we're
use
not
the lead
monetizing this
pencil,
fuck
right?
on YouTube. Alright,
Oh,
alright, so since
Why are you putting a lead pencil in there?
What is wrong with you?
Substance.
Can we get back on topic?
Guys,
Okay.
mental health is a real issue. It
This
affects
is-
many people.
It really does.
Just like our friend here. Jesus fuck, we're not gonna get anything done, dude.
Okay,
What is
okay,
going
okay.
on?
We're really not. Yeah, we stop.
We're already 25 minutes
Oh.
into the episode, unedited.
And, oh my god, we have done nothing.
Oh my god.
This is a great podcast.
Yeah,
We've done nothing but
Back
watch
to the
Rainbow
topic.
drink his cum rum or whatever he calls it.
Rum.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude, like I
remember,
don't
guys,
even...
no matter what we do in this podcast, we are not professionals, and you can try this at home.
Do not try this at home. We're not professionals.
no.
Please, guys, if you're going to drink responsibly. We are
Yeah,
in a controlled environment. I'm at my Reaper Asylum. He's at his Forsaken Asylum. Actually,
I'm in a haunted room. Yeah, I'm in the real Stables environment. There's a reason I have an altar in the corner.
all right.
And the REM poster right next to me.
All right.
Hey,
All right.
she protects me, okay?
All right, let's wind this back a little bit. Let's pull in the reins a little bit. This is episode 1 of the
All right.
podcast. This shit has already gone off the rails.
Too much, yeah.
All right,
Off-
so
off the
you know
rails.
we're gonna go ahead and pull back from the anime topic because
Yeah,
we
just skip
seem
it.
to-
Let's just
we
skip
seem
it.
to
Skip
be
it.
really
Skip
fucked.
it. We skip it.
So because not all you guys know who we are, let's do a brief introduction.
Yes. After I made a fool of myself, let's do an introduction. Yes, please.
Don't worry, we
I
can.
thought
edit
this man just drank cum rum on the
let's
fucking
go ahead.
podcast.
Let's go ahead and start with our guest.
Oh, me. Wow.
Well, we saved the
My-
best for last.
Wow.
Yoshi, obviously.
Damn. Yeah, definitely Yoshi. So I'm into kills. I'm basically your average FPS gamer, pretty
God.
much.
Don't throw me off the map
I-
again, Izzy.
Like, yeah, I'm not that cracked. I'm just overall just a gamer. I like hanging out with people, you know, having a good time. Overall, just having a good time playing games here and there. That's pretty much my background. You know, follow me on Twitch, Izzy Kills One. There you go.
Definitely follow Izzy on Twitch, guys. Good gamer, good person to watch. Hilarious when it comes to Among Us.
We don't talk about that.
Speaking of which, we need to get back into
Yeah.
proximity chat among us.
Check him.
All right.
Actually, hold on before we get to Rainbow. Check out Izzy Kills on YouTube. He's got some pretty great
my
shit
God.
posts. I am
Dude.
in at least 2 or 3 of them.
Absolutely, yeah. I definitely will get back into it once I start streaming more different things, like, you know, between the podcast and bringing back Paladin's customs and all that good shit.
Dude.
Like making more meme edits, man. Like, especially
Time
now that I
out.
have so much free time, I need to make more content.
Custom
But
shit
yeah,
posts were great.
Izzy, I recently got back into paladins.
ooh, there we go. There you go.
I'm a Saris main because I'm toxic.
Can I leave?
Oh, bias.
God damn it.
I'm joking.
Well, it was great having you.
Yeah, it was
follow
good. Good
on-
talk. Man said he's a Sarah mate. Now this is where I leave.
All right, Rainbow.
All right. I'm isolated rainbow. With a 3 instead of a B because I'm fucking
Special.
a weirdo.
Mhm. Dyslexic. Yeah.
If you want to see random shit like this, then come join the streams. I do a lot of random stuff. I will take a shot of pickle juice just for the hell of it. I think I drank a full glass on our 24-hour stream of pickle juice.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I'm in a haunted room, so if you ever want to see anything weird, definitely come watch because I've definitely had not on stream yet, but when we were setting up this room, we had somebody watching on the camera to see like how everything was placed, and they actually saw if anyone's played Phasmophobia, you know the ghost orbs. They actually saw shit moving across the screen. I didn't have anything open; it was just my camera. To like see this, like this room is actually haunted. This is the room that was our storage room, and we actually avoided it for the longest time. Our cat used to sit in here for days on end, and we didn't know why until we had to get rid of her. And Yeah, so if you see any of those little guys on the shelf over there come after me, just let me know, please.
Yoshi, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. But
Yeah. Hey.
hold on. Yoshi
Hmm?
is our headhunter reaper. He has gone beyond bounds to grow the Forsaken, the Reaper, the whole asylum in the whole. He's gone beyond bounds to grow the community as a whole, and I really appreciate him. And I'll go ahead and let him take over now before I make him cry.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you made him cry already.
No, not yet. I'm good. But my name's Rabbi Yoshi. I'm the head hunter reaper of the Reaper Asylum, and and how I met Cheetah was through another good friend of ours named Chubby Waifu, and I met him while playing Splatoon with them and kicking their ass there.
And he's regretted it ever since.
Shut up. But on a realistic standpoint, that's how I met our head hunter Reaper, Cheetah,
I will state,
and
I will state, since he probably won't say it himself, he does have a slight stutter. It's just part of
Yoshi being
handling
Yoshi.
things. Yeah, it's Yoshi. So,
a lot.
like, we will not. We don't know how big this is gonna get, if it gets big at all, but we will not tolerate like a bunch of
Anybody
negative
talking
from-
shit about anybody, guys. We are a positive community. We hate the negativity. We are the positive beacons that we want to see out in the world.
That's actually why we're here, is to talk about the negativity in gaming.
Yeah, and and it's just like I think it was kind of random luck that I even found Shido playing with Chubby Waifu because I really didn't have any friends growing up because I was pretty much like a mute for like most of my childhood, and I don't want to remember any second of that because it's just like nowadays I'm a chatterbox unless I have one specific person around, but we're not talking about that.
Oh, Bunny? I think I can call her up. She might have joined the podcast.
Yeah. I'll talk about her later. Anyway,
No, I was gonna say I kind of agree with Rabbit. Or do you prefer Rabbit or Bunny? By the way,
He actually goes by Yoshi.
Yoshi. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of weird how, because for me, I didn't know anyone online when I first met. Like I was just meeting people as I played Paladins with them, and I met Platt,
Mhm.
which introduced me to Spock and Chubbs, and that's how I met Shado as well.
A lot of people
it all
actually met
kind of
me through Chubbs.
Yeah, Chubbs. She's amazing, and that's the reason how we met you.
well, I met him through Platt because Platt kind
Yeah,
of introduced me to the whole group. But yeah, overall, just Spock
yeah,
Nation in general.
and I was just randomly like I just want to play with new people in Splatoon, so I'm just in here browsing through Twitch. I'm like, is there any like casual players that I can play with in Splatoon? Because I really personally don't like playing with sweats in Splatoon because after a while it's just not fun.
Right.
It's just a constant like, oh, I can kill by this one person like 10 million times. Like, okay, this is just not fun. I always look for casual people to play with in Splatoon because the moment I suspect a try hard, I just immediately get uninterested and I don't want to play anymore. Because if I want to actually get my ass kicked, I go to ranked. But even then, I've been trying to take a break from ranked. But
It's a
yeah,
good thing we're not good gamers.
I mean, you don't have to be like you don't have to be some legend in the making, but still. You still you all still play your best regardless.
I think Yoshi would hate me if I was. I think Yoshi would hate me if I was actually a decent player because I do some stupid ass shit. The only reason why Yoshi hates playing with me is I'm random as fuck. He can never figure out what the fuck I'm about to do.
That's why people hate playing games with me a lot. It's because, like, even if I know how to play the game, I just abuse the mechanics that I know to do random shit instead of playing the way like a person of my experience in that game would play.
Right.
Yeah, and that's kind of a big like I don't know. It's just like somebody that I never played against before, and I just don't know where they're gonna go because they just constantly move in the weirdest as directions, and I just like what am I supposed to do at that point?
See, that's the worst part is he's played with me multiple times. And I still do shit like that.
Yeah, I play with you enough to know how you work.
All right. Shido.
Wait,
it's
am
time.
I supposed to introduce myself?
Let's introduce the head honcho himself. Come on.
All right, guys. I am Death God Shido on Twitch. Boys and girls, I am the head honcho Reaper. I am the head Reaper of the Reaper Nation. I try to bring a positive community. Anybody is welcome in my chat. We will not judge you for anything in our chat. You rainbows or Yoshis, or Izzy's for that matter. Izzy's very infuriating sometimes. Ask Platt how many times he's been thrown off the map. Watch shitpost number 2.
Number two is the best one, honestly.
Not even. I've played maybe 3 games of Among Us with Izzy, and the entire stream was Izzy, what the fuck?
Guys, I have been gaming since I was young. I had a Super Nintendo and been gaming ever since. I'm very inclusive in my community, guys, and I hopefully can see some of you guys in the Reaper Nation, not just part of the Forsaken Reaper Tavern, guys. Catch us live anytime on Twitch. Most of the time, me, Rainbow, are gaming with each other, and soon Yoshi will be joining us because we are investing in Yoshi right now, trying to get him a stream setup going. I already have a webcam going to him and a capture card that has his name on it that I'll be shipping out this week, I think.
Oh, nice.
And,
he's just got to get the computer first.
I was also going to think about get it, like the only reason I haven't personally like helped him is because until we decide if he's going to get a computer or not, like there's a lot of really good, like the keyboard I'm using is a Razer Synosa 2. The mouse is a Logitech G502. Like those are cheap stuff that works really well. I've used my 502 since I got my PC, yeah, and it works amazingly well. Like, there's no issues with it at all. And so, I would be willing to get that kind of thing and send it to him, but we don't know. We're trying to work on a fund to get him an actual PC before we start sending him, like...
I'm not a Razer streamer, I swear.
No clue what you're talking about. No clue what you're talking about.
You know, at this point, I'm a Logitech streamer. I've got a Logitech mouse, a Logitech headset, a Logitech webcam.
I'm actually a Razer streamer. I'm actually partnering with them on their streaming purposes. Oh. I have my Ripsaw HD. I have my Razer Siren X, my Naga Pro, and my Chroma Tournament Edition.
You know what you don't have?
Sponsor.
My Kyo? Oh, Snaky Snake, you better get your ass back here.
Snacky Snack. With
you know,
detachable tail.
I've been trying to get a Snaky Snack, but I've also been trying to, pay my bills and assist one of my friends.
I got this literally the day it came out. Like I saw something about
during
it.
Was it the same day that they announced it?
Yeah, like literally the day they announced it, because I heard about it a couple days sooner. So the day they announced it, I clicked on it and bought it that day.
Because I watched that whole live stream that they did. I wanted the chair. I almost bought a Snaky Snake day one.
I actually think that's a good thing though. Is you went into the whole thing about like what you used to play. Izzy, what did you grow up playing?
What I grew up playing, I honestly didn't grow up with much. I would play like on the DS was my first console, actually. Like my first, not console. I guess the Wii was my first console, but
your first actual
gaming
platform.
I'd play any games that I would get. I mean, I think the first one that I really invested to was like Fossil Fighters, which is like a dinosaur version of Pokemon.
Yes,
but dude, like I was popping off on that shit. Like I completely completed that game like 100%. But yeah, dude, that's what I grew up. Apart from that, I had a Wii. I'm gonna say this now. I am a god at Just Dance. Dude, I pretty much 5-starred. Like 1 through like 2017. Like Just Dance, like 1 through 2017. I pretty much have 5 stars on every song. That's how much of a sweat I was growing up playing Just Dance. Apart from that, just the classics: Wii Sports Resort, Super Mario Strikers, Super Smash Brothers, of course. Like, yeah, that's what I grew up gaming with. Mainly just Nintendo games. I never had an Xbox or PlayStation. And I got a PC once I got older.
What about anime wise? When did you start watching anime?
Anime,
older?
dude, I was 19, so very recent. Like, what is that? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? 3 years ago? Yeah. So, yeah, dude, I just started. Like, the first anime I watched was on Netflix. It was really shitty. I think it might have been like Ultraman. It's so shit on Netflix.
Oh,
Okay, the anime was shit, but the fucking live action Ultraman.
No. Okay, I'm not gonna shit on live action, all right? But the anime on Netflix was shit. We can both agree on that. But that got me like I just like the
anime on Netflix isn't shit though. Hold on. Except for what's that one? They only had 2 seasons.
Not Zero.
No. It was basically people piloting robots against like an incoming force. One of the people got absorbed by the incoming.
Oh, Gargantua World.
No. It had some sort of S in this name. Let me look it up. I continue while I look.
All right.
Yeah. But that's the first one I watched, and it was just not for me.
Yoshi, what about you? Games you grew up playing and like the first anime you watched. I know you haven't seen a ton, but
I'm a bit late, but my first console to myself was, well, my first game was really a DS, just like Izzy. And the games I had were kind of weird. I had a Looney Tunes game, and like the four board games, like Sorry, Connect Four, all that. Yeah, I had that on my DS, and that's all I had at the time being until I got a couple more games. But my first like home console was a GameCube, and to this day I still adore that console. But the sad part is I can't play it because my little brother broke the damn controller, so I can't play it.
I've got a funny story about that. Shida, what about you? What you grew up with and like?
Real quick.
Oh wait, Yoshi, what's your first anime?
First, Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
American Dragon.
How are we gonna say
my god!
So the Netflix anime I was thinking of, I can't even fucking find it anymore because Netflix got rid of it. It was only on Netflix. Fuck you, Netflix. Wow. Reach out to me, bitch. I got some ideas for you. Okay, so gaming wise, I'm the oldest motherfucker in this goddamn podcast. I feel like Jeff on fucking Achievement Hunter and Rooster Teeth. So
and I'm the baby.
I started with a Super Nintendo. Thomas the Tank Engine on Super Nintendo, bitches. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was my first game. That was my first game. That motherfucker was lit back when I was 5. But my first actual console that I owned, because the SNES was my sister's, I had a Game Boy brick, the motherfucking gray brick, and a PlayStation. Those were my first consoles. My first console I purchased though was a PS2, and then a PS3 after I gave up trying to move to St. Louis for a chick, which will bring us into mental health awareness later because I'm fucked.
Hey, that makes a lot of us,
right?
I can bring in my ex-fiance into that conversation.
Mm-hmm. We'll hold off on that for a little bit. But anime wise, I mean, I grew up with Toonami. I grew up with the original Toonami, the fucking 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock block back in the day.
Before I forget, do you remember this shit? Because it bothers me so much. Because I watch Funimation and Uniplex all the time. Do you remember the Uniplex?
Uniplex.
And the fucking the Funimation you should be watching.
Dude, that motherfucker, it used to whisper. It used to be more like, "You should be watching."
But they got rid of it. They got rid of
That
it. I've been
motherfucker
watching
probably started
Funimation.
ASMR, honestly.
I've been watching Funimation lately, and they got rid of the "you should be watching" part. It's just Funimation now.
Yeah, it's this teacher. All those noises now.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh man, I miss that older Funimation.
Should Linda go? I'm sorry, guys. I got distracted. No, he's still alive.
So you what was your first anime though? Like all the way through, what was the one you watched?
I mean, I'm an old dude, man. If we wanted, if we wanted to say the actual anime that I originally watched from start to beginning, would be Saber Marionette J. Y'all motherfuckers probably don't know that, except Rainbow. Do you know? Do you know Saber Marionette?
Yeah, I know that one.
Saber Marionette to J. Saber Marionette J. Hold up, I gotta go check this. Hold on, I need to figure out which ones these named are. Did I have the series?
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, it's a good ass anime. Like that's the thing is I watched all the mainstream anime growing up. I watched Bleach all the way through. I kept up with Dragon Ball Z and Naruto as I was growing up because I grew up in the era as it was developing kind of thing. So like I grew up playing the games and watching the animes, and it was really interesting. I've seen all of Bleach and read all of it, and so I got done with all of that stuff, and I had to come back and just watch a bunch of random shit. And so like that's why I've seen so much, is because I started anime at a really young age, like 8 or 9. I started watching anime, like Full Metal Alchemist, all sorts of shit. So I have like this huge, vast knowledge of just random ass anime. Yes,
this is old school as fuck. This is Dorito face anime, motherfuckers. This is Saber Marionette J. Crisis. J to X. This is the whole fucking series.
Yeah, the Trinity, dude.
That is the anime I first watched from beginning to end, was Saber Marionette J. And then I found out the OVA series, and then the second series, watched it, bought it as soon as I fucking found out about it. That is an anime legend. That's an anime you guys should go watch. You know, on top of Lupin the Third. Which, October, buddy! Part 6.
Holy coolly. No, on a real note, so I guess it's my turn then. So when I was growing up, I lived in really shitty conditions, I'll say that. I was super poor growing up. I didn't really have, it's getting hot. I didn't really have a ton of money growing up. We lived in like a really bad house where we had we had bought plywood to set on the floors, like just to walk around the house. Like it's really bad. But I did grow up with my stepdad had a classic Nintendo, and my uncle that lived next to us with my grandmother had a Nintendo 64, and we just had Walmart boxes basically full of games of Nintendo and 64 games. So I've played I can't even remember now. It's been so many years because, like I said, I grew up into like the gamer era. Like I grew up playing Nintendo and Nintendo 64, and then we eventually got an original Xbox and an original PlayStation. We ended up getting a PS2 eventually. I played that all the time, and an Xbox 360 when it came out. The first system I purchased, I did have a Game Boy. I had a Game Boy Color. I had the original Game Boy, and I had a Game Boy Advance. And then I ended up getting a DSi, was the only DS one I had. We never had any Nintendo other than the original stuff. So I had a DSi that ended up breaking because I had it in the inside pocket of a coat, and I was carrying in water. Because again, we were poor, so when we moved, we didn't have water in this place. So to flush the toilet or boil water for food, we had to bring in water from outside. And the switch or the DSi fell out of my inside pocket and into this bucket of water. And I find out several years later when I joined the military and left home that hey, can your sister have your DSi? Come to find out after all these years it reset the system and it started to work again. I was just so
it dried out enough to work again. Oof.
Yeah, because there were 3 or 4 years of me just looking at it and like starting it up and hoping it would work, and it didn't. But the first system I ever bought for myself was after being an adult. I bought a PS4. And then obviously eventually moved to PC. I had an Xbox 360 as like Christmas gifts, but I didn't purchase them for myself. Um, I will say the first anime I ever watched, and I will never forget this, is A Bridge to the Stars, Skies Above. Because I feel like that's what really it's like because I was already like watching Naruto and Bleach and all that kind of thing, and like playing the video games, like the original like Budokai Tenkaichi and the original Ninja Storm and all that sort of stuff. But I didn't actually get in like watch a full anime separate from that until I watched A Bridge to Stars Skies Above, and it's really what set the mood for like my style of anime because I'm huge in the fantasy, I'm huge in the action, I love all that stuff. But there was something about the dramatization and like the rom-com style of A Bridge to Stars Skies Above that I really enjoyed. And that's why like Toradora is my favorite anime. Like Toradora holds a really special place in my heart just because of even though it's not like super actiony or anything, there's just like and honestly, like it sounds weird, but the reason I waited to go to last is because Toradora drives really heavily into that mental health area. If anybody's seen Toradora, they know what I'm talking about. A lot of the anime represents jealousy and really bad anxiety. There's a character with like not an abusive but an absent father. There is the whole like classic love triangle, but it's done in a way that isn't classic love triangle style in anime. It's done in a way where, hey, I'm so anxious, it bothers me to think I'm good enough for you. And it's just the way they portray it is so beautifully done in that anime that I love. Just because I can relate to a lot of it personally.
So, go ahead, Izzy.
I was gonna say, honestly, a lot of the main character tropes in anime have like a lot of just, anxiety, jealousy, just a lot of basic emotions that for us, like we kind of relate to them in the way where, they're kind of made to relate to us in the sense of they have these basic, everyday things that they're going through, and they kind of share those emotions on a daily basis in the show that they're in. That we sometimes don't even do and don't really think about until someone else reflects on them, where we're like, hey, I go through the same shit, yet I'm just a regular person, just like this, main character of X anime is.
Which is why I think I will say, like, we're gonna kind of loop this a little bit slowly into our mental health thing, but I do say that like in society in general, all the kids like us, like our age group that grew up in school getting bullied for liking anime and all that. And nowadays anime is super cool. Like if you watch anime, you're like the cool kid and like all that. And I feel like a lot of that is because this new generation is like finally not reveling, but revealing the fact that anxiety and depression and all that is very commonplace stuff. And I feel like we just realized that at a younger age and we're able to relate with these main characters in like losing their parents or like for Tokyo Ghoul, for example, looking for a relationship and you're so desperate and you end up getting killed for it. And it's not even necessarily the fact that you're literally getting killed. It's just like the emotion that goes behind that and thought behind it. And so it's really interesting that we just connected with this at a younger age. And nowadays it's commonplace to have this sort of anxiety and
I don't even think it's just anime in general. Like a lot, if you really think about it, you kind of see more self-awareness in just everything, media and music, anime, games, just more self-awareness of what users want and what users are going through. If you really look at, for me, like a big inspiration is just a lot of emo rap, X, Juice World, Peep, stuff like that. Like no one really talks about. Yeah,
like that's all newer stuff. Like even back in like my Nishida's generation, there was still emo rap. I can't think of any of their names off the top of my head right now. Some really bad band names, but
I know, but it's kind of on what you were saying though, where that type of style wasn't really around, nor was it like looked well upon. When someone's talking about something touchy, they'd be like, "Oh, well, you should be talking about the norm." Money, guns, violence, etc. now it's more.
I got shot 9 times.
Yeah, now it's more like what's it called? Not generalized, but just it's kind of a norm essentially.
Yeah.
Which loops me back into our whole. Yoshi, do you have anything to say about this before I move on?
I guess I can kind of feel for like the anxiety part of things because it's just like now it's just like even to this day it may sound like I'm just like oh I'm this big boy who knows how to just talk with literally anybody who comes across me, but honestly deep down it's just like when I'm literally like face to face with somebody that I've never seen before, and unless I know how to talk to them I just lock up.
And that actually is a perfect segue into toxic masculinity, because I feel like that's something that isn't talked about enough. Lately it's been like pushed a lot, but like Izzy already mentioned it, like back then it wasn't really like a lot of that kind of trope was like looked down upon. Like if you mentioned anything about having feelings and stuff, and like all these male anime characters that were like upset that like their parents died and everything, and it just I personally, I don't know how you guys felt, but I will say personally, I connected with a lot of these characters where it's like, oh, my parents died, and this BBEG, sorry, little D&D reference for you there, is trying to hurt my friends, and I can gain enough power to protect them and fight back. And I personally felt like that gave me the power to continue to live life and push through. And so it was really interesting to like get bullied for that, for like looking up to someone, when people would look up all of these celebrities that are just normal humans like us. Like, I know it sounds weird, but if I'm going to look up to someone, I would, well, I'm going to say this. If I were going to look up to someone, I would rather look up to someone with unrealistic expectations just so I can set my bar higher.
Growing up, I looked up to people like Tex Avery and Chuck Jones. I really wanted to be a cartoonist when I was younger. So, like, I really didn't look up to the Tom Cruises and shit like that, or Bruce Willis's. I looked up to realistic lookups, like I said, Tex Avery, Chuck Jones.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm saying we're like how kids looked up to Spider-Man or looked up to Superman. Like, it's unrealistic expectations, but it makes them feel like they have that power to do something in their own life as a normal kid. And so, like, I don't know. And like that's why I'm really glad that we three are the hosts, because me, Shido, and Yoshi come from very different backgrounds. Like, if I talked about my past a lot, like I've talked about it, and I've told people like, "Hey, this is how I grew up," and people look at me and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." Like, I moved past all that, but it's very interesting to see like the wide range of people. Like anxiety wise, like Yoshi, you said when you're in front of somebody, you freeze up, right? Whenever you're in front of somebody.
Yeah, because
Good.
Yeah, because it's just like it's like somebody. It's even with some people that I know and I talk to for a while. It's just like when I meet them literally in my face, it's just like I don't know what to say sometimes. I just sit in the background until somebody says something to me.
Yeah, and Yoshi and Shido, Izzy, I don't know if you've seen much of this, but like there have been times on stream even where I've broken character. And if you don't think this is a character, I promise it is. I have.
Wait till you hear his accent.
Fuck off. I have a southern accent when I get drunk.
It's southern as fuck. It's southern as fuck.
And I moved to North Carolina, so I have like this real redneck country accent.
Hit us with it real quick. Go ahead and drop normal. Let's go.
But anyway, back where I grew up, it's kind of happened like this. So basically, our ways of growing up a little bit different. But my whole point about this was more the fact that basically, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking? Oh yeah. So I mean, I have a different way of dealing with anxiety. So my way is like literally this.
Yeah.
Literally this. Literally this. Like this is my way of dealing with anxiety. Everyone comes to me and they're like, "Oh, you're such a extroverted person and you're able to just walk up to anyone and talk to them." And it's like, no, I am not. the entire time I'm walking up to someone and going, "Hey, how you doing today?" It's very much anxiety filled. I have really bad ADD, I have ADHD, I have anxiety, I have OCD. I have a lot of really like you guys don't realize Cheeto saw it, but I spent 20 minutes trying to get stuffed animals in order. Just they look good on camera while I was sitting in my chair. Like I have really bad things, but I cover it up by being that very much like happy outward appearance because I grew up in an area, well, not necessarily like the hood, but like an area in my own household in an area where I had to be the strong person. Because if I didn't go out of my way to be like, hey, I'm here for you, I'm good, then nobody else is going to. And that actually caused a lot of issues because nowadays death doesn't affect me well. It's not that I'm badly affected by death, it's that it doesn't affect me at all. I won't get into anything on the altar. Cheeto, Yoshi, you guys know what I'm talking about. I won't get into that right now.
I cried.
I'll wait
Yeah,
a
I
little bit.
cried.
I'll wait a little bit until we get into that. But just death doesn't affect me much because I was told my stepmother died when I was younger. Literally at breakfast one day, my mom pulled me aside when I was with her and was like, "Hey, your stepmother that you've had, and she's like a really, really great person to me, and she did a lot for me. She got paralyzed because of a car accident, and she passed away in her sleep, which I'm super happy for because she didn't feel any pain. But I was like, it was like before breakfast, and my mom goes, "Hey, your stepmother died," and I looked her in the face and I said, "All right, do you want me to make breakfast?" Because in my head, I thought that my stepmother's death would hurt my mother more than it would hurt me. And I thought at the age of 7 that I would have to stand up and help make breakfast because my mother wouldn't be capably able to.
That's very sweet of you to do that.
Give me a second. Y'all keep talking.
I think it's one of those things where I can relate to Rainbow in the sense of having to be the backbone of something. For me, it's like I'm still in the ghetto. Like I live in the Mexican ghetto. Like there's all kinds of bad shit around me, and just overall, like it's one of those things where you grow up tougher because of your situation in your area. Like I said, I didn't say much about it, but I didn't grow up like rich. Not even like we're right now. Even now, we're like below poverty lines. When it comes to money, and the thing is, we just get by. But the whole big thing about it is like makes you a stronger person, makes you learn more, and just be able to go through more compared to other people that might not have that opportunity, because there's people that just are just well off and just good, and they don't know the struggles of having like no AC in your house when you live in Arizona. They don't know
or having to bring in water from outside to flush your toilet. Like
or I know you said like floorboards to like be able to have somewhere to stand and whatnot.
So like let me elaborate on that a little bit real quick. We were so poor. Everyone asked me like, "Where are you from?" And yes, he's just eating in the background. It's great. No,
it's just lumpy, dude. It's lumpy being lumpy. What do you expect?
But I grew up in an area where I was so poor that it was like we were consistently moving houses just because we wouldn't be able to afford the rent somewhere and we'd have to move. And so it got to the point where like we literally moved into a house that didn't have any floorboards. I had to go with my dad and spend like $100 to get some plywood so that we could cut it out to fit the rooms and lay it down so we could walk around our house. If I went home to visit home right now, I would be sleeping in a living room in a trailer, a 1-bedroom trailer with my little sister filled with cockroaches and rats. It's just it's the realism of it.
Oh
and like
my God.
No, yeah. No. I completely
Oh my God.
I feel for you, bro. 100% there. Like, when we got this house, it was just foundation. So we had to put tile in, all everything in to like make it usable. I remember when we first got here, there was like roaches and rats everywhere. And like it was just something where you just don't want people to live in. You get me? It was just such a new, broken down house that like, well, I should say new, I guess, but like you're just a broken down house that, it just needed a lot of repairs and a lot of attention for it to be usable. I mean, over time, I mean, it's been like what, it's almost 20 years. So I mean, we made it home, but it's still in a bad area. It's still in,
and it takes time. And that's my thing is like, I never grew up in a good place. Like, so like whenever I said I used to have a Nintendo and N64, that area I lived at the end of a 1/4-mile dirt road in the middle of the woods. Literally, we would walk into our house, and if you were wearing shorts, if you took a step through the doorstep, it would feel like you had hair all over your legs. We had fleas and gnats and rats and roaches. Like we had to change out the trash and we had a burn pile out back just because the maggots would get bad. Like I grew up in such a bad environment, and people are like, "Oh, well, how did you get there?" And it's like, I got here like this. I joined the military and like all that. And I'm not saying like join the military, but like when I get to where I was, I literally went to the store and I was like, I need some like body wash for my room. And I went and got body wash. And on the way to checkout, I saw like a 69-cent Hershey's bar or something, right? And I was like, hey, I want a Hershey's bar. So I grabbed it, paid for it, walked out in my car, got in my car, and as I was opening it up, I just bust out into tears because I finally realized that I was in a point in my life where I didn't have to worry about if a 69-cent Hershey bar was going to make it to where we could have food. My mom is an amazing person. She worked as a manager of this chicken place, and she every week would come back with a literal, like just a bag of random chicken tenders and just random stuff. And that's what we would eat for the week. Like that's just how we lived. So like to be able to just go through a checkout line and go, you know what? I want this candy bar, and just no second thought, just I know I have the money for it. Let me just grab that. It's so weird. Where I am now, this whole thing is insane to me. Like it still hits me some days where I'll go to my wife and I'll be like, what's going on? Like, where am I? Like, what's happening? And she'll have to sit down with me and go, hey, like, everything's okay. We're in a better place now. Everything's all right. And it just, sometimes it's insane. Especially with, like, again, certain people, there's 3 people in here now that know what I'm talking about. Certain things like what are on the altar, which we'll hit on later, like, certain things that have happened recently even, like, humbled me to a extreme degree. And it's just insane to see where you can come from where you start.
Well, since we had our sandwich eater join us real quick, I want to go. I really needed you because, like, when you guys watching the podcast, I know you noticed my mood switched to really depressed when Rainbow was talking about the death of his stepmother, which we'll get into my mental health here in a minute.
Oh my God! I'm already crying.
But,
yeah, just for reference, that's not even like half of my background.
Yeah,
like,
that's a little. That's like a tiny sliver. But just watch Abs just come up an hour late into the podcast, start eating a fucking sandwich. Bottom portion of the screen.
Me when we started.
My favorite part was...
Did I? No, I was trying to. No. I told somebody to message you. I was like, hey guys, message Abs real quick.
I thought I did. I guess I just like
everybody's so lazy.
Bro, I'm on shrooms and coke. You can't tell me anything.
That's the way to live.
Yeah, no, I typed it up and then never sent like enter because I like ran to grab something real quick.
Oh no, the rum cum.
I've done that.
Guys, I want to introduce you guys below me to Abstracted Opinion. He is the Peter Griffin on Twitch. He's actually Abstracted Opinion on Twitch, but he's literally no sound changes or anything. He is Peter Griffin.
Pause real quick. Do you know how hard it is to keep a straight face while telling a story?
Well,
when you've got Abs down there doing this.
Bro.
Dude, I almost lost it as I saw him pick up his sandwich. He was just like this.
Yeah, tell me about it, huh? Yeah, that's very sad. You had to put floorboards? Yeah, dude.
When you got to the roaches part, in my mind, I was like, just take a bite. right as he said fleas, take a bite.
I
hope that's lettuce that was crunchy.
Abstracted Opinion will probably be a recurring guest star on the stream, on the podcast for that matter. He is a good friend of the streams. He's one of the Reaper Elite. That's not really Reaper Elite.
He's an honorary Reaper Elite.
Like he's really his own guy, but he's in the asylum, fucking shit up like the rest of us.
What the fuck am I? A Reaper vegan? Like,
I don't know. What was in that sandwich you just ate?
I know, right? Was it meat?
Why not vegan?
so
How much meat could you stuff in your mouth from that sandwich?
So it is a
He shows
steak
the
and
camera.
cheese.
Oh,
It's
that
a
looks
steak and
delicious.
cheese. Yeah, it's got pickles on it too. It's insane.
We'll actually get an introduction for Abs next podcast episode because I'm pretty sure he'll be here.
Yeah, if I'm not.
As long as they message him, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could always edit it in if everyone wants to be quiet, so he can do like a quick intro. We can just edit it in with ours.
I mean, we can't because it was a screen
Yeah,
of
we all
4
had the
people.
Pikachu hats and yeah.
Fuck it.
time skip. It's fine.
I'm just gonna casually munch on an orange seed real quick. Don't mind me.
So this whole conversation kind of brings us into the mental health awareness. Like something I want to touch on, guys. It's something that Izzy can probably, agree with, because of some of the stuff he's gone through recently. This is something I've been struggling with for the last couple of weeks and month, for that matter. It's okay to be happy, guys. Even if you feel like you don't deserve to be happy, you do. Like I just met a fantastic woman, and if she watches this podcast and at this bit right here, she'll probably yell at me. But I'm not going to name names. She's fantastic. I went on vacation and spent some time with her. And at Howl at the Moon Bar, I'm going to go ahead and name drop them because Howl at the Moon is a great bar. It is a dueling piano bar. If you guys ever get a chance to go to Howl at the Moon, it is fantastic. I'm going to take Rainbow to Howl at the Moon when he gets down to Texas. But while I was there, I was struggling with being okay with being happy, guys. And
That's what I came in.
those of you guys who know Shido is very happy, jovial guy. The 4 here can vouch for that. I'm very energetic, very happy, and I rarely break streamer character. Like when you saw me switch from very depressed to very happy whenever Abs came in, when Rainbow was talking about the death of the stepmother, that rarely ever happens in stream.
And that keys back into what I said about like how everyone do not be ashamed of the way you deal with trauma. That's all I will say.
Yeah.
Do not be ashamed of the way you deal with anxiety. I've had so many people come to me and go, "Oh, well, if you're so anxious, don't come off as not anxious." And it's like, why not? Why would I come off as, "Oh my God, I'm so scared"? Like, and it's not bad to come off as anxious. It's not bad to come off the way I come off. It's not bad to have a switch you flip. It's just make sure that you have your own mental health in the forefront of your mind and under control. There is no reason to try to shut everything down for people. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself first and foremost, even if you do have that switch you flip like Shido does. Like I just
Definitely have that switch.
Yeah, and like I know Yoshi's probably over there still crying, but like there have been several points.
Yes, I am.
I've mentioned like a few things about my past, and like I've broken Cheeto. I'm pretty sure Abs at one point.
I've been on stream a couple times.
Just talking about my past, and that's the thing is like, first of all, if you guys need anything, like I'll put my Discord link at the very least in like the description so that you guys can come to me. Like if you need anything, message me. Me and my wife have dealt with this for years, and we know, like my wife deals with this in a completely different way. My wife is not the headstrong person, like straightforward like person I am. She's very much a switch person. Like I've seen her break down in literal tears, sobbing on the stream room floor mere minutes before she goes live on Twitch. Like it's insane. Like she's such a strong and powerful woman, and it's so weird to just see the different ways people express anxiety and deal with it, but you should not be ashamed of the way that you do.
I was gonna add on to that because you said it sometimes it's not even just having it. Sometimes you can't really control it. You know, people just say,
Yeah.
"Hey, just don't," and I'm like, dude, like
Easier said than
I
done.
can't. You know, it's like there's times when I don't have the power or the control over certain things. Like for me, like I know my depression's really big sometimes, and for the most part, it's just random. You know, I've had
Yeah.
times when I'm with a group of friends having the best time, and my mind is like, dude, you're depressed. This shit sucks. Like, dude, like you're bottom of the barrel at this moment. And there's times when I'm in bottom of the barrel, like in my life, and I'm like, dude, I feel amazing. I feel fucking great. You get me? There's things that don't make sense. And even in my own brain, I don't understand everything. You know, for me, it's like I'm currently seeking help, like professional help, to be able to understand myself better. Because for me, like I have switches kind of like Shido, but not in the way that he does. Mine's are a little bit different when it comes to emotions. Like something can just trigger certain emotions, and it's kind of hard to control that at times. And
That's how
you
my
know,
life is.
Yeah, I know.
it's one of those things where it's difficult because in relationships and just overall, like in work and with friendships and whatnot, it sometimes doesn't help. And that's the biggest thing when you don't know what you're dealing with and you don't know how to take care of it. Because for me, for the most part, I can control certain things about myself, but certain times it's just times when I lose that control. And for me, I'm a big control freak, at least for myself, because I'm so like I like being self-aware and just knowing to what limits I can push myself and whatnot. And there's times when I lose that control and it ends up in something where it's not what I want, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'll talk more about my circumstance and my relationship later on the podcast, but yeah, like I completely agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tough, dude. And like even with help, sometimes it
Yeah,
doesn't do much for you.
Yeah, even for me, like for instance, like I talked about the stuffed animals, like you can see how they are. And like you're probably looking at this and you're going, oh man, that's just like a shitty layout. Like you could probably put them here and everything. But like the octopus itself, putting the octopus legs on it, like I've learned over the years because I grew up with OCD, which if y'all don't know is a obsessive compulsive disorder, which is literally like something y'all can't see on the camera, but right here I have a mat. And here's the edge of the mat. So whenever I set my glass down, I'm using a wine glass that has a circular bottom. I have to line the circular glass off the edges. And it's not something I can control. It's not like I can just go, oh yeah, let me just set my glass down and then drink. I have to set it in a certain place every time. You'll see me do this a lot, or adjust my shirt. And the reason for that is because my shirt's not touching certain parts of my back, so it's not equal.
I thought you were just itchy, to be honest.
No, it's because OCD. Like because it's hot in here, so like the sweat, there's certain parts that'll touch and other parts that won't. So I have to adjust it so that they all fit the same way, or it's not touching my skin at all.
Yep.
Same thing on my desk. Like there's very certain things. Like y'all probably saw at the beginning of the podcast when I got the hat. I don't know if we'll put it in post editing, but like I adjusted, fucked with my hat, I fucked with my hair. Like I've learned to like stop myself at a certain point, but it was actually so bad when I was younger that I would run past a door frame, like just walking into a door, and I would barely brush it like that. Like you could feel the hairs on your finger touch the door frame. I would freeze, and my mind would black out everything around me and create an invisible line. And I'd have to perfectly follow it back. And if I fucked it up, like if I went here, I would have to perfectly follow that line back. And I would sit there for 30 minutes or more trying to perfectly follow this line back and touch the door the exact same way in the opposite direction. And then if I got it, I would have to spin a certain way on my feet so the floor felt a certain way on my feet and do it with the other hand. And then it just got to the point where I would just lay on the ground and cry because I couldn't get my hand to touch it. And I actually had to see, like, as he said, I had to see professional help to be like, hey, like, it's okay to not be perfect or even or balanced. And that honestly loops back into my whole, like, I have to be the Rock. I have to be this, like, perfect, strong character for those around me. Because if I'm not, then what am I? And because that's what I base my whole personality around. So if I'm not that, if I can't be that perfect thing, then what am I? Am I just nothing? Do I just not exist? And so that's where a lot of that like OCD and stuff kind of plays into a lot of my anxiety and my depression.
Honestly, you talking about being the Rock and stuff like that. I honestly think that's what kind of damaged me over the last 2 years, and that's part of being aware of your mental health. You kind of understand where you've been damaged, and you kind of try to fix off of that. So for those of you who don't know me, 2 years ago, 2 years ago was the anniversary stream was for the charity was 2 years. So 2 years ago, my mom passed away due to cancer. The whole year before that, I was at every time she went to the emergency room. I took off of work. I was at the emergency room. I tried to be that rock for the family. I barely cried. I barely gave in to the feelings whenever my mom was sick. With cancer. She was diagnosed with stage 4 colon and liver cancer at the same time. Which cancer is not a death sentence as it used to be back in the old days, but stage 4 is pretty out there. And that's the reason why I literally do a charity stream every year in honor of my mother. But the build up to her passing, me just trying to burden every bit of her sickness for the family and trying to be that rock whenever she was passing, it really damaged me enough to where, for those who don't know, I'm going through divorce. I was married. I wound up shutting down from not the family majority, but I shut down from my ex-wife. And mentally, I created Death God Shido as an escape. And that's the Shido you guys know. He is my mental scapegoat. This is literally Chris talking. And
yeah, and I will point on that real quick and say that like I can say that this is because like this is also the same person that came to me after vacation was like, do I deserve to be happy? Literally pretty much asked me that question, do I deserve to be happy?
Shit, yeah, I fucking called you right as soon as I got to the airport or after the airport. No, I called you when I was pissed off at the delayed flight. When I was threatening to break my fucking phone.
They won't let us fly in. It's bullshit.
But this is literally Chris talking. This is not Death God Shido. For those who can differentiate between the two personalities. I am pretty fucking broken, and mental health wise, I should probably seek more help. Which I will down the line. I just got too much on my plate right now. Which is why Death God Shido exists and Chris exists. And so I have that escape. When my mom passed, I shut down. I literally did. I created Death God Shido as my escape. I met Rainbow Izzy, that lumpy fucker down there that was eating a sandwich. And Yoshi. Yoshi's still kind of new to the community. He doesn't really fully know the non-Shido side.
He's learning, but it's funny because he's learning from the breaks in character from the stream.
Yeah, he's learning from the quick, oh fuck, this is not Shido talking anymore. But mental health is really a strong thing that if you feel an imbalance, guys, seek that help. Don't wind up winding up on the edge and feeling like there's only one escape.
Hey,
you can
friends are a great thing because like you just said, like you have that switch, but when you're not in that whole Death God Shido, I'm trying to cover up everything personality, you have people like me or Lumpy or Yoshi or even Izzy that you could come back to and be like, hey, like I just need to talk.
There's another person.
Yeah.
There's another person in there, but I've kind of, steered away from a little bit. Most of you guys know, just because of the where I'm at right now in my mental relationship status right now. But guys, we Reapers are here for you. If you're new to the community, you just want somebody to talk to, anything that you tell us or want to say to us, it stays confidential. There's things that I know each one of us has been told that none of us others know about. So if you guys need somebody to like cry on their shoulder or just, be like, hey man, this happened and I just really need some counseling on it, we Reapers will be here for you, and we will keep it to the collar and not let anybody else know what's going on. I will say that.
Oh, what?
Did you want to, whenever you finish, do you want to put anything in on this, since you haven't really said anything yet?
Sure.
Yeah, quiet one. You don't eat sandwich?
Yeah, for now. I like to keep a character going. Most people know me as the funny comedic bastard.
No.
Peter.
No.
Yeah, no.
I can't believe it.
Let me taste your Peter. Give me a little bit of that Peter.
Honestly, when I was a child living in the streets of northeast London, I cried out, "Please, mommy, can I have some more?" And the barmaid looked at me and said, "We don't serve kids here." Very unfortunate.
That was a little bit.
I got my bitch didn't give me my margarita. It was going to be a problem.
That was a little bit of a tasty Peter. I'm gonna step off for a second, guys. Y'all continue the conversation. I just need a quick break.
Gotcha.
Abs, you wanna key off of that?
So most people don't know the
goes
mental
my
issues
headset.
that I deal with. So I like to cover things up with comedy. I like to basically keep my mood monotoned, anger, whatever. But I'll never really drift into sadness too much. I avoid it. Most times, I'm usually the guy who sits quietly, blank-faced, when I have nothing else to say. But most people don't know the amount of chronic depression to an almost suicidal degree that I have been through. From the age of 16, I dealt with mental issues that had affected me from my grandmother's death. Grandmother died at 13, and I reacted. Well, there was not really a reaction. It was just okay.
Yeah. For
Stared
people that don't
blankly.
know, why was that such a huge thing for you?
It was a huge thing because my grandmother was addicted to medication on such a severe degree that I would come home from school to an alcoholic grandfather who abused me mentally and physically. And I would have my grandmother, who is high as a kite at this point, every single day, drooling on herself. I'd come over, I'd wipe her lip, and then I would go in my room and read or sit there and watch static on TV because I wasn't happy enough to watch actual TV or play video games at that point. It wasn't until my godmother / grandmother that I live with now, who bought me my first console and actually gave me something to play and do, that I actually started to be a little more happy. At 16, I had several psychotic breaks. Thankfully, I was a little too fat for the rope, which is true. I actually tried suicide multiple times. No, it broke twice. Thankfully. But
thank God, because I'm glad I met you, man.
Yeah.
I hadn't gone to the hospital. No one knew. My grandmother didn't know. She asked me about the markings on my neck. I told her it was a rash. Looked like one because I broke out in hives from the rope burn. So luckily, I didn't have to go to a psychotic ward. That would have probably been the end of me.
BDSM time. No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
The special
How to
secret
maintain your
word.
ropes.
The special secret word is pineapple.
Yeah, right.
How to
Use
maintain your ropes.
I like to
properly.
use chrysanthemum.
Use the code pineapple at checkout for more.
For
Like
more
an
Razor
Adam and Eve-
products.
Like an Adam and Eve clip.
Just for reference, everybody that's not tracking, like you can tell, like as we've been talking, like we're breaking it with comedy. Like
That's
it's just
literally
kind of
literally how we all kind of deal with the breaks in character.
I will say that he didn't mention it, but Abs was raised by his grandmother.
Yeah.
So that's why that's like
biological mom's in the picture now. I get along with her great.
Yep.
We actually
awesome.
started talking more. I'm back with hanging out with my little brothers. That was a shock to me because he reached out because I didn't feel strong enough to say, hey, I'm sorry, you know, haven't been around, been kind of dealing with shit. And he reached out on Discord and Facebook and he's like, why aren't you around? Like, what are you doing? And kind of brought up a lot of old memories and stuff. But for the most part, most people know me as the happy-go-lucky, funny guy who sits on Twitch. But I've had my fair share of breaks.
Yes. What are we doing today?
Not my bananas.
Unacceptable.
Yoshi. Unacceptable. Yoshi, was there anything you wanted to say on this? If not, it's okay.
I do. I guess I can start out for how when I was like a kid, like when I was we weren't poor or anything, but it's like my mom was kind of in the middle in terms of money, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So it's just like we didn't have a lot of things, but we had a lot more than I thought. But it's just like there was that one point where we had to we was actually staying in a house, but the thing is, it was actually somebody else's house that we had to rent to stay in at one point when I was a bit younger, and at that point we had to stay with like our cousin or something, I think. But like cousin or something, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, it's just like living in his house was so unbearable. My mom was actually in a room crying because she did not want to live there at all. It was so unbearable to live there, and once we got our apartment or house, I can't think of which one it was, but we were so happy to actually be in our own place, and we can actually walk around without our shoes on, because I can't walk around that place without shoes on because I just can't.
Yeah.
And
we had house slippers. Like we all had sandals or flip flops to walk around our house because like you couldn't walk around. Like I know what you're talking about. You can't walk around without. Like Izzy, yeah, you probably know what I'm talking about.
No, dude, I completely know what you're talking about. Like
you can't walk around the house without some sort of like
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've literally I have an old story from when I was younger where I went to walk to my bedroom and misstepped and stepped in the door frame and had 3 nails go in my foot. Like it's not fun.
Nope.
Legos, I got nothing on that. Fucking carpet tags.
I remember this one time there was a metal door, and at the bottom it had a little, it was kind of cut wrong, so it would a little part of it would hang up, and it was a blade, and I just full sprinted into that, and shin first just sliced
funny.
It was
funny story. When I was living with my father for a bit, who was emotionally mentally abusive, and his several stepmoms after my original stepmother died. You know the drawers that have the little leaf designs on them? It's a handle that has the leaf design on the other side. I went sprinting into the kitchen one time on socks, slid, and had one puncture my ass cheek. So now I have a small scar on my ass from where I had a second asshole. Just in the middle of my ass cheek, I had a fucking leaf from a drawer puncture my ass.
You got 2 eyes lose one and you've got another, but you lose the brown eye and you're shit out of luck.
You know, the fucked up part is I am American Heart Association certified. That story just really fucked with me a little bit. I am literally a first aid responder at work. Shit like that would fuck with me.
Izzy, have you said
my
anything
asshole.
on this? I can't remember.
Oh, dude, the thing is, like, if I really get into it, I'm gonna tie it all to, like, it's gonna take me a while. If that's cool with y'all, if I take the floor for a little
Oh
bit.
no, that's fine. Honestly, if it ties into anything, I could just bring the altar into play.
No,
and, we can
it's
flip into
gonna tie into, like, because I know it started off with, like, you know, having kind of your alter ego online and stuff like that, and, you know, kind of figuring out if you should be happy or not, and it kind of all ties down from the beginning. You see, when I was growing up, when I was 16, I was really, I had gone out of a really bad relationship, really abusive, mentally, emotionally, financially. I was out of it because I was really getting just used, and you know, it was one of those things where it kind of tied into the streets, right? And I was not growing. I grew up with like people just around that I knew, and those were not the greatest people. I'll tell you that. And just overall, like, you know, I had like I would just grow around with like the people that were around, and they were not in the best circumstances, just like I was, except they're more like towards the gang side of stuff. And you know, it was one of those things where the person that I was dating had information, and kind of, you know, unfortunately, it led to two of my friends being killed because of that. Because of the street violence, and just overall, they had information that I kind of gave by accident. You know, it's somebody that I trusted, somebody that I thought I loved at the moment, and that kind of led to the death to my friends. Like I said, and of course, it could have been more to the story. You know, that could have happened regardless of whether my ex knew or not where they were going to be at. But still, like, it's one of the things that I took really harsh on myself, where I was like, dude, if I never really said like where they were going to be at, or where I was going to be at with them, they might be here today. And it was one of those things where I don't know, you know, at the end of the day, anything could have happened. It was one of those parties, got late, you know, it just ended up in a shootout, you know, and it could have just happened regularly, but
yeah, and that's like, and I will tie off that and say, like, I have had like I know I've told this before. By the way, everyone, yeah, there he is. He just gets disconnected sometimes from internet issues. But I will say that I personally have had several friends commit suicide. I've actually had a friend video call me in the process of committing suicide.
No.
And this is like tying into our suicide awareness thing, where
that's actually where I was going to try to roll us towards here in a minute. But yeah, let's go ahead and roll into that now.
Well, it just kind of ties into what he was saying.
Yeah.
And all I'm gonna say is, like, you can't blame yourself, because like this friend called me, I didn't think anything of it. It's like 3 a.m. and I won't go into a ton of detail, but basically they just seemed really upset, and I talked them down. They seemed to be all right, and then I heard some scuffling, and I saw some legs, and yeah, by the time I managed to get a hold of the police or anybody in the family that could see anything, it was too late. And it's honestly, like, there's several occasions that, like, I just, growing up, I thought that I imbued bad energy around me. It's one of the reasons I'm pagan now. Because, like, I have been across several wrecks. I've seen several people die in front of me. I've had several friends commit suicide. I've had more than just that one commit suicide in front of me.
God.
I had a friend jump off a building while we were having a talk on a roof one day. Like, I have a lot of things that just, I can't blame myself for. I can think all day, every day, what if I had said this specific thing? What if I had told them this? Maybe that it wouldn't have happened. What if on that rooftop I had been a little bit closer? What if I had grabbed them? Like, when it comes down to it, when somebody makes up their mind, it is already too late. And I want to say it's never too late. But there
At least
once
for that
you-
person, you know.
Yeah, at least for that person. Like, there's not too much you can do at that point. You can't blame yourself. Abs, you're gonna say something on that?
Not particularly on the topic. I'm a little upset with my sandwich. I'm not even gonna lie. All jokes aside, how hard is it to dice an onion? I'm not
Jesus
pinching
fuck.
this. It's a whole half of a fucking onion.
I hope you like onion.
Real quick. I heard Yoshi, you okay?
Just
Suicide
You know,
issue.
you know how it gets whenever I talk about my past. Which
Yeah,
is why,
no.
like,
I just wanted to make sure that we
Yeah.
are making sure Yoshi's okay,
Yeah.
because Yoshi is kind of the more innocent one of us, per se.
Yeah.
And
Which
this
is why
is
it's
kind of
good that
part of
we're-
us Reapers. We want to make sure that we are aware of the people around us and making sure everybody is okay with this.
Yeah. Which is why I said it's good that we three are the major like hosts of this, just because we come from three different like backgrounds and like ways of thinking about this.
On you and Yoshi, I got a decade. I think Abs is like 5 years younger. Izzy, I'm not too sure. I think I got a decade on you.
I'm 23.
Probably.
I got
22.
I got almost a decade on all you.
Yeah.
yeah, just
I'm
like Moby, he said like jump.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Moby, he said
it's-
jump off a building. I just burst into tears.
I'm
it's-
literally the Jeff from Rooster Teeth of you motherfuckers. I'm the old bastard that's sitting here drinking the whole fucking time.
Well, it's. I'm not going to go into depth about that because we're not here to talk about like anything like that. But it's very humbling to see something like that in person. And if you haven't seen it in person, it's not something you want to see, especially not on repeat the way I have.
I was gonna say don't suggest it, please. Don't suggest it. Or like
No.
shit.
It's not something like, and this isn't oh, I wouldn't do this at home. Finger guns, wink, wink. It's don't. If you have the chance, don't see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there, guys. If you don't feel like talking to one of those Reapers and you want to seek other help other than trying to seek out a psychiatric help, you can always call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, guys. 1-800. That is 1-800-273-8255. They're available 24 hours a day. If you can't get a hold of those Reapers and you don't feel comfortable talking to those Reapers, definitely give the National Suicide Prevention Hotline a call. They are there to help you. They are there to speak to you. They're there to talk you through your problems. Again, I can't stress this. Again, that number is 1-800-273-8255. Just piggybacking on that, guys who know Rax, I know everybody in this community knows Rax. Izzy, Rainbow, I think, met Rax at the end. Rax was my head mod. Rax was a big in the chubby waifu Reaper Nation community. 6 days ago, a year ago, 6 days and a year ago, Rax took their lives. And I say there because they were not a he or a she. They were in between. They were transitioning. To this day, as Rainbow said, don't blame yourself for this. I still kind of hold some of that doubt. The night before they took their life, that was 3 days even before I found out they took their life, they asked me, hey, do you want to play a game? I was busy. I didn't take that chance to, take some time out of my life to be like, hey, I got you, Rax. Let's go play some Call of Duty. Or whatever the fuck we were going to play at the time. And
you can't always do that.
Yeah.
You can't
blame yourself.
Yeah, you can't always take time out of your life to help people. But when you can, do. Which kind of loops us back into the toxicity thing too.
Send them a smile.
Ask
them how they're doing.
You don't realize that a lot of people, I know I personally, my wife understands this. The reason I play games so much, the reason I stream is because I have a really stressful job. I have a really stressful life, and it's really difficult for me. And the way I deal with that is I play games. And even if I'm not streaming, I'm playing games, and it helps me basically deal with my life. And I don't want to say put it to the side, but basically deal with it piece by piece instead of taking it all on at once. And it's just, you have to find a balance. And sometimes it's really hard to find, sometimes it takes a while, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. And whenever that toxicity is like, it's so difficult having a really rough day, coming into a game to relieve some of that stress and anxiety, and having someone talk, not even talk shit. Because there's a difference between like talking shit with your friends, like, oh, you're ass in a game, and then going in and telling some random stranger that you fucked their mom for $3 in the side of a 7-Eleven. Like there is a difference, and and I get it. I get it. It can be like funny, it can be fun, but I also don't believe it's okay. Like you literally saying, "Hey man, I know you ran 3 and 21, but those 3 kills are really nice ass sniper kills. Good job. Keep practicing, you'll get better." Like that can change someone's day. And that could be the difference between, hey, I'm not feeling okay, and I feel like I exist now. Because I have that struggle sometimes. My wife has dissociation on a daily basis. And for you guys that don't know, it's hard to explain for people that don't experience it. But dissociation is literally you sitting there and believing that you yourself, not just as a human, but as a person, do not exist. Dissociation is literally the point of not just I'm not on earth, just I was never born, I'm not a person, I'm not a human, I'm nothing. I just do not exist. Where I am is a blank space. And like there is a difference between that, and small things can change someone's life. So even if you can't take time out of your day, like Cheetah was busy that day, you can't blame yourself for that if you already have stuff. But whenever you do have time, there is no reason to be toxic. There is no reason to hate on other people for no reason. Because what you say, some random stranger on the internet, especially in today's era where everything is based on like getting likes on TikTok or getting followers or people to like enjoy your content, like that's what brings you happiness. Like, especially nowadays, you can't let that control you, and you can't let that take over you, and you can't think that it's your fault because of those situations.
I want to go ahead and open up the floor to Izzy and see if Izzy has anything to say. I mean, this was an episode I really wanted Izzy on because of everything that's happened recently between his life, the community's life, and all that. Is there anything that you have?
Yeah.
While you do that, I'm gonna go grab some stuff off the altar.
I have a lot, dude. I'll just try to piece by piece. I know he kind of talked on. It's like the small things that you can do to change it. Running it back, like I said, 16. I met this person named Alejandra. She was really cool. Met her in high school. One of those people that you look at them and you're like, dude, there's no way like their life isn't perfect. They're super smart. They look great, charismatic, all this good stuff, and they unfortunately took their life in at a very young age because they had so many problems within their life. That even us, we didn't even know about, and we still don't know to this day. They're gone. And for me, I remember one of the biggest things was I was really bad. Like I would get like not necessarily bullied in school, but taunted for the most part, and like had to grow up with a really defensive side to myself. And I remember one of those big things that I really got picked on for was having braces. And I remember one of the things she really asked me for is she asked me to smile one day. And for me, I couldn't do that, And it's one of those things that just haunted me for years. And I was like, dude, I know it wouldn't have changed like a lot, but it's like one of those things where it was something so small. And I'm like, dude, if I couldn't do this so small for somebody, how can I do anything more for anybody else? Like for me, I just really like put myself down for the longest because I was like, if I couldn't, smile for somebody, how can I do something for something else, like somebody else, And a couple years passed, and I was on the other side of the equation where one of my friends was really going through a bad breakup, in a bad situation overall, and he was really trying to go out. And I kind of talked to him, kind of was there for him as much as I possibly could. And a couple years later, he's like, "Yo, bro, thank you." And I was like, "For what?" Like, I didn't do shit. Like, he's like, "Yo, like you were really there for me during a really bad time, and you kind of got me through things." And it's one of those things where I didn't see how big of a change it could make in somebody's life until, you know, it's like you're here. You get me? It's no longer whether it's kind of hard imagining you not being here to you're here. You get me? Like how much would change if you weren't here, if I didn't have that talk and spend that time with you. And moving forward, like throughout life, I just kind of was trying to find like something kind of like Shido said, where he created Shido essentially. No, like he was no longer Chris, he was Shido. For me, it was kind of like I was always trying to find that you get me, and until I just came up with Izzy, where he's just really out there, really, you know, a really smart person, but he's also the biggest dumbass at the same time. He's like the best of both worlds, and that's essentially what I came up with. And I went online, met a lot of people, and I met May through Shido, through one of our Paladins Days customs, V2, I believe, as well.
V2.
Yeah, and I was really cool with her. Like, and Shido doesn't know this. I don't think he does know this, but like, we got really close. We're good friends for a good while. They got to know more of the other side of the community that even some of you guys don't know about. But overall, like, they introduced me to my ex-partner, Raven. Well, back then they used to go Stray, but yeah, like, and I'll even talk about a little bit about that because it kind of ties into kind of what I was going through. So ever since that whole, I lost two friends, someone was suicidal, and I cared about them, I was barely getting to know them. And my relationship being bad, I was kind of stuck in this weird abyss where I was really toxic and I was just really just numb to anything good, really, where I was just not happy and overall just kind of hated everything, hated existing, but I still cared for everything that I cared about and the people that I was around. And kind of meeting people on Twitch kind of helped me realize, hey, there's more than just people in person. And like I said, I was getting really well with May and whatnot, but like over a time, it got to a point where they were really exhausting mentally. And I know Shido doesn't know about this, but they would always pull the whole, hey, spend time with me, or you don't love me, or spend time with me, or you don't care about me. And for me, who's lost people like that, it hurts, And it got to a point.
Mental illness is not an excuse to be toxic.
No, I know, but like they even got to the point where they were like, "Yo, I'm gonna kill myself if you're not, here with me, and I'm gonna, take my life and no longer be around and stuff like." And it just, for me, I had to stay in that toxic, kind of environment, even though I didn't want to. And it's a good and a bad because I had met my ex-partner because of that. But at the same time, I was just kind of like, dude, I need a break. And I know for Shido, this kind of really hurts because he didn't know all of this. And he's kind of just finding out that someone that he cared about is like this. And unfortunately, like, I was getting to know Stray at the time, or Kate, whichever. And I kind of learned about their life. And honestly, I had not cried in like 6 years, dude. Genuinely. When I heard their life story, like I just broke because they pretty much, like, you can probably like name every bad thing that could happen to a female, and they probably had that too. It was just that much of a, not gonna go into detail because that's private, but it was just that much of shit. Like, I've never heard a life as bad as this one. And I was just like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, it just hit me on such a level where I didn't know. I was not ready and not expecting that. Especially like, we met a couple months. We were barely talking, and we started playing over Minecraft, and they just poured their entire life to me, and I was just like, whoa, like what? Like you don't really know what to say when someone pours their life onto you, and I just try to handle it as best as I could, and they appreciated that. They appreciated that I listened, that I try to help them as best as I can, and just over time, like we got a lot closer because I was like, hey, you could do this, you could do that to, better your state and better, where you're at in life. And they appreciated that. And just overall, I remember we were playing games and I was like, dude, like this person is amazing. They've just been through a lot of bad shit in life. And, the reality of it is like they need an opportunity, like to find a good partner. And I was like, I don't feel like I'm the best person, but like it's the best so far, and then I kind of just went for it and it worked out. And overall, it was good for about a month and a half. And we kind of got into something. It was a very touchy subject and that they were really passionate about, and it really hurt them. And, for me, I was just unaware and just didn't know. And overall, just really, I'm myself. At the end of the day, I will tell you straightforward what I think. I don't like sugarcoating shit. I don't like doing none of that. I'll tell you the best of my ability to like tell you what I'm thinking. And essentially that led to our first problem in our relationship where I was really thinking, hey, you should really focus on your health and all this rather than, starting a family and all this. Like really narrow down and just focus on yourself because at this moment in time, you need to help yourself more than anything else and be in a point where you can help yourself. Unfortunately, they didn't really understand that. And they kind of held that against me. And for the most part, it was kind of like my other relationship, essentially. Like, because and I'll get more into, I'll speak as I was going through it. Like, I just didn't know how much they understood that this was damaging me and how much it felt like, my past. Because the thing is, like, when it came to myself, I wasn't really allowed to talk about myself. I wasn't really allowed to express myself. I was really just, hey, these are my very small boundaries. It's like this is a one of those tight ropes. You got to walk on it. Anything outside of this is like bad. And I'm like, for me, I'm very much not that type of person. So it was very difficult to stay within those boundaries where it's crazy that I know a lot about you, yet you know very little about me. And overall, that led to a lot of different things because they were they're basing this relationship on their past relationships, which they've all been toxic, they've all been bad. And me, I've been just trying to base it on something healthy, and they didn't really understand that. They thought, hey, this is just another person, going through, he's gonna be the same thing as everyone else. And just overall, like they were seeing as months went by, like, hey, this person's completely different. And they didn't know how to react to that because they've been just used to so much negativity and toxicity that they see something positive and they're like, what the fuck? Like, and it's one of those things where, you know, it came down to they didn't know what to do, And for me, I was like, yo, this is what I want. And these are very simple things. And they were not able to do them because they didn't know how to. And for me, like I tried for months, like I was really down and out mentally, emotionally, financially, just invested and just trapped essentially. And overall, like I was just trying to get down and be like, yo, these are just basic, understandings, basic fundamentals for a relationship. And it didn't work out. And before I knew it, like, in April, they had attempted to overdose for the first time, which for me, it shocked the shit out of me. I was like, dude, like I was trying my best to help this person and they really just like this happened, Fortunately, they were able to survive the first time. And for me, I doubled down. I sacrificed more of my time, more of my everything, just trying to give like, hey, I care about you, you know. And it even got to the point where I went to visit after I lost my job. The first thing I thought of was like, yo, I'll look for another job, but first I need to meet this person because I really care about them. Flew out, learn more about them, and just overall, like, it was a very difficult situation they were living with because there's a lot going on in their environment, a lot of people they surround themselves that are really negative, and just a lot that you can't force people to change no matter what. Even if it's good change, you can't force them to do it. And that was the biggest issue that I was like pushing them and hey, this is positive. This is something you have to do regardless of whether you like it or not. It's one of those things where, when a child is about to touch a hot stove, right? You tell them, hey, don't do this. And they'd be like, why? And it's like, because, this is bad. It was the same concept where I was like, hey, you're dealing with a lot of mental disorders, a lot of trauma. You need help for this, regardless whether you want it or not. Like, you genuinely need to seek help for this. And overall, like, they're like, I'm scared, I don't want to. And, for the most part, it was like, I can't watch somebody suffer and just stay in the situation where I was slowly watching the person die, if that makes sense. And for me, it was like, dude, I can't do this mentally anymore. For a couple, maybe like a month and a half before everything else went down, I was like, dude, I just need a mental break. Not even a break for this relationship. Just, I need a break from everything, from reality, dude. I need to, because at this point, I didn't know what happiness was. I was just existing at this point. And I was just like, dude, like, I just need a break to be able to focus and get back to it. And every time they were like, no, I don't want to break. I need to be with you and all this. And, over time, just like, it'd get to the point where I wouldn't be able to focus on what was going on at the moment. Like, I'm such a big overthinker because for me, like, you guys have seen how I play and stuff like that. I'm more of a strategist person than just, random shit. And I think about a lot of shit. I think about so much where I think about everything damn near. And it got to the point where I was just overthinking everything, and literally it would just give me like migraines. I mentally could, and then like physically would hurt too, but mentally I could not concentrate on everything if there was an issue going on between us. And that's how bad it got because their communication was just never there. Like, for a lot of issues that happened, it was a bomb drop where they'd be like, oh, by the way, this happened. And I'm like, oh shit, like, what the fuck? Like, and it was one of those things where I understand that it's difficult, but it's even harder for the other person when this happened like weeks ago or months ago, and you're now finding out about it. Yeah, you care about them a lot, and when you don't tell them the full truth or hide certain things about them, it's very difficult for someone to operate when they're just a really big overthinker and just very big on like trying to figure shit out. And it got to the point where I was like, dude, I've tried everything. I've tried every type. Like, I even talked about like couples therapy and stuff like that. Like, that's how much. And even Shido brought it up, like National Hotline, Suicide Prevention Line. I've called them many times myself, not for my own sake, but rather for how can I help my partner? How can I help my relationship? How can I, best support this and the person that I'm with? And overall, like, even some of my friends, I have a very good support group with a lot of people, and they've been able to guide me through as much. But at some point, everyone was like, hey, you've done so much. Yeah, this is like a bucket with no bottom to it. You're just going to pour yourself out. You're just going to completely sacrifice yourself for like a chance that something may go right. And for me, that it was just detrimental to my mental health. And I was like, dude, I couldn't. And, it got to a point where I was like, yo, let's really sit down, get to know each other, get to talking, and like kind of know where we want to go with life. Because they have goals, I have goals, and we're just separating, going our separate ways, and damn near clashing at everything. And for the most part, it was difficult because, their mental issues just didn't allow for confrontation. Just conversations like we're having right now. Let's say, Rainbow, you like chocolate, I like vanilla. This is an argument.
Chocolate's better.
No, I'm saying like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm just a general.
I like
you're good.
I like that.
Real
You know,
I
quick,
just like that. I just like that pause.
real quick,
I
I'm
was
gonna
like, what is
add.
going on?
I'm gonna add the suicide prevention number hotline at the bottom of the screen, real quick, guys. While we continue to talk about this subject, we are going to go ahead and start wrapping up the podcast. Just a heads up, I do have a phone call I got to make before
Yeah, I'll
my
shut up.
friend goes to sleep.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, it was just a general us talking right now would be an argument for them. It would be like very over the edge. And for the last time, I was like, dude, like in 2 weeks we haven't really hung out. And I'm like, dude, like this sucks because you're putting everyone else in front of me and you put me for last. Yet when you need something, I'm the first one you run to. And overall, it's like I don't think any relationship should be like that, where I'm just put in the forefront when I need something, but when I have the time when I want to, like I don't care about you. And I was just like, dude, I'm good. Like I'm pretty much done with this whole situation. And they were like, but I want you here. And I'm like, dude, like you're not understanding. Like for months I've been saying I want change in this because in the beginning it was good. And once this happened, like it turned sour. And they kind of revealed a lot of things that they were holding a grudge. They were just doing this purposefully. And for me, it was like, dude, like I don't know what to believe, whether you were a good person and you didn't understand, or whether you were doing this purposefully and you weren't. And, you know, I called him over the phone the day after we broke up and I was like, hey, I know you want to get back together. I'm trying to see where we're at because I still like care about you. And I'm very confused about everything. And at that point, I was kind of like every other conversation, just leading the conversation, telling them like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And they just asked me a random question. Well, not random, but they asked me a question, which they never do. They're like, can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, what would you do if I overdose? And I froze. I was like, well, it would be like the first time, you know, I'd be in shock. I'd be panicked. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd feel bad. I'd hope you're okay. All this other stuff. They didn't say anything. I heard a couple sounds in the background and I was like, what's going on? What are you doing? And at that point, like, they just started crying. They started like just going off. And I was like, what is going on? And at that point, they had just taken like all the pills they had. And I was just like, shit. Like I was in panic. I called the person that they were living with and, you know, they didn't answer because unfortunately, like at that time when they heard that question, their son got an anxiety attack. So they had to help their son. And, you know, the very big unfortunate thing that I didn't really talk about was when they got to the person, they were still alive. They're still alive that entire night. Um, they asked them if they needed an ambulance, if they wanted help. They said yes, but then later denied. And you know, for me, it was one of those things where if I knew they weren't going to call an ambulance, I call an ambulance. I don't give a shit. Like when it comes to saving somebody's life, I don't care what that person thinks. I think that person should have their life saved. You know, regardless of what they want, because when you say you're okay after attempting an overdose, it's very clear that you're not. And it's unfortunate because they just respected, because they were an adult, they respected what they wanted. And it's like it's unfortunate because regardless, it's either you call the ambulance now to save their life or you call the ambulance in the morning to pick up their body. And for me, it was like, dude, like if I would have known they weren't gonna call an ambulance for them because they didn't want one, I would have called them. I wouldn't have gave a shit. And you know, looking back at it, it's difficult because I never wanted it to get to this extreme. For me, I was like, dude, this is an environment that's very familiar to something that I've been through, and I don't want to be in it because mentally it's fucking me up. And I didn't want it to get to this extreme. For me, I was like, I was not even the aggressor in this. If anything, I was being victimized left and right. And for me, I was just like, dude, I can't do this anymore. And I have so many mixed feelings and just overall thoughts in my brain that I can't really decipher this because there's a lot of answers that will never be filled. And I will never have those answers, like, you know, and
Yeah.
it's difficult just knowing their overall motives of why they did it, because they left no note, they left no nothing. And you know, for me, it's like maybe they just had a lot in life because, yeah, again, they had gone through so much. But at the same time, it's like I understand they were in pain and, you know, they're probably damaged and whatnot. And I don't know if they did that to cause me damage and everyone else around. And it's one of those things where I don't know. Nobody really knows. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just at the forefront of everything. And, you know, I talked to Shido and Plaid and Chubbs and them like, yo, like I need some type of protection because like, you know, I was kind of some people came up to me, they're like, we know everything. Granted, they only know one side of the story. They never wanted to listen to mine because they're very toxic people and they're like, yo, you know, we know everything. We can end your career essentially and all this. And I'm like, dude, like what? Like first and foremost, they were dealing with so much. Because for me, it's crazy that, you know, the best relationship that they were ever in led to the worst results. Logically, it doesn't make sense. It's like I don't understand why I got to this degree. Well, I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but overall, I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way that I'm the one that caused this. And you know, for me and my own mental health, like at times, there's times when I'm like, dude, like I did that. I'm a giant piece of shit. But overall, like I understand that it wasn't on me. You know, I had such a big task and I handled it to the best of my degree, and it was something that was just too much for a single person. And overall, like I do feel for everyone, including the people that, you know, harass me, like they're in pain, you know. And it's like I even told Sheeta when I was lashing out, dude, I was like, fuck these people, bro. Like I want to be as positive. And during the whole stream, I was really trying to just focus on the good because I'm like, I don't want to really talk about my relationship and all that because that was not the highlight of everything. There's highlights here and there during the relationship, but overall it was one of those things where I just felt trapped. I felt abused and I didn't know whether we were doing it or not. And even to this day, I'm like, I don't know, you know. But yeah, that's
I can actually directly relate to this on several notes. I already mentioned one with the friend and everything, but I can see your face. You already know what's coming. My ex fiance. We knew each other since high school. We've known each other for years. We ended up dating after I was already in the military in a different state and everything. And I'd gone back home and seen her several times. I found out later through a friend that she'd been cheating on me the entire time that I was in a different state. And I was in such a bad space. Like you said, you get that toxic headspace of just, oh, I need something. And it got to the point where I was like, oh, if I get engaged to her, it will like change her mind. She'll actually realize I'm serious. And I'm also obviously skipping a ton of details, but basically, I was making new social media accounts because I was like, I have all these old people from high school. I'm like an adult now. I don't need all these people. I just like need the people I mainly talk to. And when I was making my new Instagram account, I like messaged her and I was joking. Like it was obviously me. Like the name was like my name and everything. And I messaged her and I was like, hey, you're looking kind of pretty today. And everything I'm about to say happened within the span of maybe 5 minutes. And she was like, "Oh, you're kind of you're kind of cool yourself. Oh, what do you look like?" And it's like a brand new Instagram account and everything. I literally looked up like hot guys on Google and just clicked like the first fucking image and was just like, "This is what I look like." And she's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And then I was like, "Yeah, just kidding." And like as I'm typing the like, "Hey, it's me, just made a new Instagram," she goes into this whole, "Oh, I can't believe you tried to catch me cheating," blah blah blah. Now, I only get certain times to visit family. This was right before Christmas, like a week and a half before Christmas. She completely ignores me. She says she basically can't believe you catch me cheating. This is bullshit. I've done nothing but love you, blah blah blah. And she doesn't block me, she ghosts me. She's like, just leave me alone, give me time to think. I was like, okay, cool. A few days later, she has me pay her phone bill. Cool, whatever. Then I text her like maybe 4 days before I'm supposed to go back home. And because her friend texts me and says, apparently she was dating a dude back home and cheating on this guy with several other guys. And so I messaged her and I was like, hey, what's going on? Or are we like on a break or something? She's like, yeah, we're on a break. I thought you knew that. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. 3 days before I'm supposed to leave to go home, she messages me back and is like, hey, like, you can still come over. We can still hang out. Like, by the way, we're engaged. We've been engaged for like a few months at this point. And she's like, I want, you can't hug me. You can't kiss me. I basically don't want to show affection. I come home a day before Christmas Eve, go hang out with her and her family. And Christmas Eve, she goes out with a friend to this huge party and everything, leaves me there at her house. I stay up super late. And there's like this whole debacle of she wakes up in the middle of the night and tells me to go to sleep so she can say bye to her dad in the morning. And she cusses me out all the next day on the way to my grandparents' house for Christmas. But that's not where the story is going. Christmas Day is fine.
Oh,
Again, this
boy.
entire time, I'm not allowed to hug or kiss her or anything like that, show any sort of affection to my fiance. And we get done with Christmas, we go to stay at my friend's house in their spare room. I won't go into detail because this is going on YouTube, but she wakes up in the middle of the night and she's kissing me after, like, she goes to the restroom, she comes back, she's like kissing me, talking, and everything seems fine. And things get a little bit handsy. She closes her eyes for maybe 5-10 seconds, opens them, and then screams rape. She goes and wakes my friend up at 3 a.m. to drive her an hour and a half back home while I sob on the living room floor, not knowing what's going on. She never talked to me since, and there are now people that I've received death threats from back then that basically only heard her side of the story, saying that I had tried to essentially rape her on Christmas night. And come to find out, that best friend that we were staying with that I'd known longer than her, kicked me out of the house. I had to struggle to find a place to stay until I went back home for Christmas. And then when I finally got back, come to find out that best friend found her husband's phone, who he wasn't doing anything. He's a great dude. But my fiance at the time, of the like 12 hours we'd spent there, had gotten his phone number and had been like messaging him provocative photos and stuff in their own house. And she got married less than 15 days after to some guy. And I had another girl I was with shortly before I met my wife, a couple summers ago, where I went and visited her. I hung out with her and her family. We went to, I forgot where we went. We went to some state, drove with her family up there. And the second day we were there, she broke up with me. And I had to spend $500 to fly home. And then just recently, I lost my daughter. We had already had 2 or 3 miscarriages, and we finally had one that stuck. And the hospitals basically refused to schedule us an appointment to get her OBGYN appointments so that she could get checked out for the pregnancy and everything. And this is Claire. This is Claire Elizabeth Rose Pruitt. And my wife, water broke. We didn't realize it. And a few days later, she woke up at about 1 a.m. in a lot of pain. And we had to go to the hospital. And I watched my wife deliver my first ever child stillborn. And had to watch her from about 5 a.m. until 7 in the afternoon, hold her on a hospital bed. And it's just, if you ever think that people won't miss you when you're gone, there is something to say about this. Somebody who was never officially here to begin with, and yet it's still deals. And like, there's even more than that. If I really wanted to get into it, there's the fact that my mother-in-law, my wife's own mother, abused and belittled her for years, and after my daughter died, had the gall and nerve to tell her own daughter that she was, whenever we found out we might be moving to Texas, tell her own daughter that she was upset about the loss of her granddaughter more than the mother was, in several different ways on several different occasions, to the point where it's gotten to a point where we no longer talk to her. She's been officially cut off. Pretty much the entire side of the family has been cut off, and it's just, there are a lot of things that can happen to you. There's things I haven't mentioned, like I've mentioned the false accusation of rape, but what if I mentioned toxic masculinity? What if I talked about the several times when I was younger where I personally sexually, and by two different people in a basement with my entire family around, with my stepsister whenever she was babysitting us? Like, it's, you don't have to be strong. I know I said like that's my way of dealing with stuff, but it's not something I chose. I didn't choose to be strong. I was belittled into being strong.
I think you're molded into it. You're
Yeah,
molded to be strong. You know?
molded. And life just throws stuff at you, and there's not much you can do about life. But there is something you can do about the way you react to it and the way you push forward in the future. You can, and I mean, Izzy, this goes for you too. You've heard me say it sometimes, but you can't blame yourself. And it's so much easier for me to go, hey, you can't blame yourself, than to go, man, I really had absolutely no control over that situation. Because us as human beings want control. It's what we strive for. It's what we crave. We crave control over any one situation. And being able to sit there and go, I had no control. I still deserve happiness. This isn't my fault, are some of the hardest things to say as human beings. And
No, I completely agree, bro. Like for myself, like I understand this is not my fault. I'm very like much aware of that. For me, I'm kind of stuck in, and the thing is, I've been stuck for this in years where I just want happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is, and that's what I wanted to say is, you mentioned like this person that you're in a relationship with, like, didn't understand what to do with that happiness. And I really wish Spoopy was here with me right now, my wife, because my wife was raised in this environment where literally she's worried about her siblings growing up, because the way her mother raises them and raised her is, she doesn't teach anything about the outside world. It's literally, her mother told her growing up, if you went outside without her permission, she would be raped and killed. Her mother told her that from like the age of 5 upward. If you went outside, you'd be raped and killed. That's what she was told by her own mother. So like, it's, whenever you get into a situation where you're actually in a good relationship and you're in a good, happy environment, it's hard to tell that between people like her mother who are being fake and lying just to get in close with you and abuse and mistreat you, as opposed to understanding true happiness. And then it makes you second guess yourself on, do I actually deserve happiness if life's going to keep treating me this way?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and give the last minute call, guys. I offer a branch to you, Izzy, and Abs. Definitely, Abs, you're probably going to be a recurring guest star, as I said. Izzy, I'm offering you a branch to come back out next weekend for episode 2, because there's a lot we can still touch on this. We haven't really scratched the surface on toxic masculinity in gaming. I know there's a couple of topics that we kind of like haha, let's talk about this. And this was the main portion of the first episode, was going to be the mental health and the suicide prevention, and dealing with the loss,
the backlash
of everything. So last minute notes real quick, because I do apologize. I have a phone call I have to make. I promised somebody that is real dear to me right now.
Which again,
and
even that loops back in, like a real quick issue. Like even that, you making a phone call, like that loops back into what you said before of you didn't have time for that game. You have the time, use that time.
Yeah. Like I'm setting a foot forward to make sure I have the time to make this phone call, because this person has grown accustomed to me just like talking to them before they go to bed, and I really want to put that foot forward for them. This is back to the same person that I couldn't deal with my own happiness with last week when I went on vacation. But like your Rainbow was saying, Yoshi, what you got?
Before we drifted off into another conversation, I want to finish what I was saying earlier about the very crappy environment we were living in at the time, because we actually did not have a house at the time. And like, dude, my mom was so scared to the point where she didn't even want to go to the bathroom. She actually cried, and so she called me, and then I talked to her for a bit, tried to calm her down and stuff, and I'm just like, Ma, we're gonna get ourselves a place to live. It's gonna be fine. And she cried, and then it's just like I hugged her for like a few minutes. I'm like, I know me and you butt heads a lot, because it's mother and son. So what mother and son don't butt heads a lot with each other?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, I mean, I don't like it either. But I'm just working for what we got, and it's like I hate it here too. Like even in the beds. My little brothers even got they even got bed bugs. They had so many spots all over their like body. It was like man, it's like, why am I not getting this? It's just like, that's kind of surprising. And then like a few days later, I get it.
Yeah, and I'm just are not fun. Like, that's another thing we had. Like they got into all the furniture too. So even though we only had wooden floors all over the house, furniture, no matter what you sit on, you're gonna get eaten up, and there's no choice. Dude, I would sit on the floor to play games. Yeah.
Let's see if Rainbow or you, even Yoshi, can relate to this. Like the fucking air mattresses.
Yeah.
Because the regular mattress.
The clear sheets.
You get
to put over your. Like you
couldn't
put a sheet or anything. You'd put all of the sheets and stuff on, and then you put a clear sheet over it.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's terrible times.
yeah, and it's just like I was just so concerned for them. It's just like, man, like I slept in the same bed with them. Like I'm sitting here wondering, like, why don't I have it? Maybe in like a few days later, like I just said, I get it. I guess I was just a little late to the party. I guess I was just a little late to the not welcome party on this like they're just covered in spots.
My God. Little random scientific rainbow tidbit. Ding ding. It's because they're attracted to heat. So you know how some people give naturally off a lot of body heat. Like I'm a small person, but I give off a lot of fucking body heat even if I'm cold. So I attract them a lot more than someone who doesn't give off a lot of body heat. So it's possible your siblings just gave off a lot more body heat, and that's why. I will say before we officially
because I really didn't.
Yeah, I will say before she does go, not every Forsaken Reaper Tavern is going to be like this. This is just this month we are portraying more of the mental health and suicide awareness.
Our tags on Twitch are literally mental health awareness, body positivity, allies, and What was the last
Well,
one?
mine's LGBTQ because
Yeah.
I'm gay as fuck, boy.
There's another one that I have. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. But as Rainbow was saying, let him finish that real quick, and then I'll go ahead and start wrapping this up.
Yep. Yoshi, was that all, or do you have more?
Yeah. I just wanted to get that. I just wanted to get that out of the way because it was because I was not crying in tears the whole time while I was hearing everybody's stories, but it's just like, man, I feel like I feel like I'm just barely in the stepping stone here because I'm the youngest here.
Which isn't a bad
We're gonna
thing.
find
Like,
topics that you
Yeah.
can chime in on more. It's just this one right here, being the fact that Reaper Nation set out this month to be mental health awareness and suicide prevention. That's just kind of how I wanted the first podcast to kind of go.
like I know later on we have I have a list of stuff. I've got more stuff too. We could talk about like we could talk about Lord of the Rings. I've got like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Like, was Snape really a good guy or was he just chaotic neutral?
Chaotic neutral.
Like we have a ton of like actually like
bad.
We actually had a
Yeah,
conversation during my stream. No, it was pre-stream today where we had that conversation.
yeah.
Snape is bad.
But like we have a bunch of stuff actually planned where you can actually like tie into. It's just that for this specific one,
Yeah.
this is more of an introductory to who we are as people. And I felt like with the mental health and everything, like it just
Yeah.
kind of gave everyone a feel for like who we are as people,
Where
as
we've
the
come
first
from.
episode, where we've come from, how we are now. Because like if we went into
Yeah.
this with our streamer personas, this would be an entirely different podcast.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
Y'all don't want full on Izzy or Death God because we are trollier than fuck.
But so like that's what I'm saying. It's like this is more of an introduction. Because like the later ones might be more like streamer style personality stuff. But for this, it was just introductory and trying to lead us in. All right, Abs, do you have anything to say before we lead out? For you to lead us out?
So,
While you're
Before
playing
we-
Dragon Ball Fighters in the
when
background?
we actually message you and actually let you come in on time.
Yes.
How's your Fighters game going in the background there?
Fighters. I'm playing Skyrim.
yeah, and like Sarshia, like one last thing. I really just hate getting pressured so much because it's just like when all eyes are on me, it's just like unless I know what I'm gonna do, I don't even, I just stand there. I shut up. Like I lock up. I just cannot, like, I don't like being pressured that much. And I know this is just coming from hearing all y'all stories, but it's just like me personally, I just don't like being pressured unless I know what I'm gonna do, because I just ball up and just don't know what to do at that point. When everybody's just staring at me, I just get so pressured, and then I just almost want to run out of the room and just act like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, I got you. Especially some of the shit that we've done to you, man, in stream. All jokes aside, man, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate everybody that's in this podcast today. You guys will be back for episode 2. I know that for a fact, because this will be a continuation episode. So
Ruby might be back too, and she can say more on her situation.
I would really be interested in having
Yeah.
Spoopy in on the next one if it's possible. We'll record an episode 2 next weekend. We probably won't do like a every weekend type podcast, but for this month episode wise, I feel like there's a lot to talk about for what our agenda for this month.
Yeah. And like now, like this person Izzy was more the guest, but next time he'll be more the co-star. Like we can let Abs talk more about his situation, because I know like at least me, I don't know how much he wants to reveal, but like I know Abs has a lot in his background that he can easily talk about.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Because just for me, like talking to him outside of stream, like
yeah,
I
and
know
then,
this ton.
But I'd like to thank everybody who is currently watching, who is leaving comments down below. Hit that like and subscribe. Hit that bell. Follow us on Twitter if you get a chance. We'll have our Twitter URLs in the description.
Also down below.
Yeah, everything's down below. Down below. Just go down below.
Just
hit all the
Yeah,
links.
flip through
yeah,
all
Go
the
in the
descriptions below.
description.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
the buttons, all the links, all the good shit.
All of the
in
buttons.
the description.
If you don't go to the description, I'll eat your family.
Click all the buttons. Like, unlike, subscribe.
Don't unlike, just like, subscribe, turn on notifications.
Leave your comment.
If there's anything you guys want to see in the next episode, hopefully we can get this posted before we film the next episode. I'm probably not going to do much editing for this episode. Just so we can get it out there.
Yeah.
Except for like the first 30 minutes where, Rainbow had to go make himself a drink. Oh, there it is again.
The cum rum.
The cum rum.
But like he was saying, if you have any questions down below, just put them in there. Or I personally, I don't know about them, but I personally will have my Discord in there. If you want to DM me a message about something we said, if you need help, if you want someone to talk to, if you have a question or a topic you want us to talk about in the next episode of this, or something you want answered immediately, the second I see it, I'll definitely get on that and message you and help you with that. I don't know about the rest of them. I'm pretty sure Shido might do the same.
I'm always an open door, guys, if you guys need a Reaper to talk to. From the three of us, Head Reapers, Isolated Rainbow, Rabbit Yoshi, and Death God Shido, we really appreciate every one of you. Even if you don't like and subscribe or follow us on Twitch, we appreciate you viewing and leaving a comment if you do. We'd like to thank our guests, Izzy Kills, and right below me, that sandwich eating motherfucker, Abstracted Opinion.
Yes.
Next episode, we will continue this mental health awareness topic. Hopefully we can actually touch on, Sony being a jackass and being left out of crossplay. Toxic masculinity in gaming, toxicity in gaming for that matter, and what is actually toxic, what is actually, fucking with game mechanics. But guys, Me standing on the roof, shooting down on Kings Canyon Season 1. I want to match that way, okay? Look, it's a legit strat.
I'm not toxic.
Listen, I want to match with you guys basically by playing crypto, sitting in the fucking corner of a room outside a circle and just droning and EMPing people. So, I mean, I think that's a win for me.
No. It's all about a no damage win as lifeline where you just constantly heal and, you just can't die in the circle.
Fuck you, Izzy. I'm a lifeline main.
You know what? If you fuck it... No, you're Watson.
No, I lost it.
You're Watson main. You're Watson main.
I lost the draw, so I'm not a Watson main. It came out yesterday. I will
say this, as far as lifeline mains, right? If I'm shooting at somebody and you fucking sit there and you put your healing drone next to me thinking that's gonna do something, I'm gonna turn around, drop all my shit on the floor, and I'm gonna leave. And you can do it now.
No, it's the funny part about that. I'm an Octane main. Good luck, guys.
All right, boys and girls, thanks for joining us for the Forsaken Reapers Tavern episode 1. We hope to see you guys again soon, and hopefully soon it won't be this background we got here. It'll be the actual tavern. We are working diligently on getting lower thirds, a intro, and a background done for this. But guys, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time in the tavern.
Cheers.
Hey.
Cheers, guys.
See.